Adam, Adam,
Uh,
Adam,
yeah,
where are you,
yeah,
dude?
yeah. Sorry. I'm up.
Did you sleep in the studio?
What? No. That's silly.
Is that a pink blankie?
Maybe.
Unicorn pillow, Adam? Really?
I got it as a gift.
Uh-huh.
What's going on, Dex?
Rise and shine. It's showtime.
We're live.
That's correct.
What's up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marv, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show on YouTube. Okay, not really, but we're pretty darn close to average. We'll be right back with today's news. Morning. I hope you have your coffee ready, Dex.
On my second cup.
All right. What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Something is up here. Let's see here. We have just a whole bunch of news to go over. If you've never been here before, my name is Adam. This is a live call-in show. We're going to be going over all of today's news, and of course, then we will be taking your calls. Something is awfully weird with the sound here. What is that? Maybe it's that. I don't know. This is a live call-in show, so anything can happen. Anybody can call in at 224-400-MARF. We've got lots of crazy things to talk about, including 39 bodies found in a refrigerator truck. And no one is talking about what that really is. And people are saying, trafficking. This is a little weirder than that. So we'll get into that. We're also going to get into California proof that they are worried about things, in Washington proof that they are worried about the big one coming. In fact, we'll talk about what the scientists are suggesting and pushing very hard as far as earthquake warning. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go into a county-wide disaster drill that is about to go on here very quickly. And some of the other news that you guys have sent in. Now, there might be some breaking news while we're live this morning, so make sure to put it in the chat. If you see a story come out as we are on the show, either call in or put it in the chat so we can get it in the show. With that being said, let's introduce Dex. Dex will be screening our calls, and he actually has a live connection with me from across the country. He can actually add in articles that you guys want to pull up. If you have documents you want us to look at, if you have pictures or a video that you want us to watch all together when it comes to our call-in portion, he can actually do that. And so we're going to do a sound check on Dex. If you can imagine, this is like Coast to Coast AM, only visual. So, Dex, are you there?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle Fam.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dex. Thank you for waking me up. And by the way, unicorns are in, okay? So, it's just a horse with a horn. You could say...
I got it.
It's, well, okay, I won't go there.
To each his own. It's all right.
Hey, what? Okay, let's continue. Either way, we're going to get through the news, and then we're going to get to the call-ins. If you want to go back and look at any of these articles, we have taken the time before each and every show. In fact, it takes hours That's why we are trying out the morning slot, because we actually spend usually the entire day preparing for the night news, which, don't worry, this doesn't mean that night news is going away or night shows. It just means we are also going to be trying the morning shows. Who knows? Dex might even be hosting morning. I might be doing the nighttime. I know that a lot of you insomniacs, like the calls at night and everything that happens there. As far as what's going on with this, oh my gosh, this is just nuts. So let's cover some stuff, and then we will get into it. If you want, you can actually go with a second device to marfooglenews.com, and once you go there, you can see, if you go to this thumbnail, it's very easily set up there like this. In fact, if you look, you can actually just click on that thumbnail, and it will bring you to a video that you can either watch here live on our show if we're live, or even backed up. So a month from now, you can go click here, as long as this video doesn't get taken down, and you will get the video. But here's the cool part. Down below, every article that we mention is backed up, archived, kind of a bibliography of all of the news that we have. So we don't just say something and expect you to believe us as far as some of this stuff. We take the mainstream, we take the left to the right, it doesn't matter where it's from, and then we give you guys a chance to actually give us your opinion. That's how we get close. If we're all talking about this, and if we're all very straight up with each other, a lot of these things are biased. They are directed one way. That's why it's so important that we actually have an open forum like this where we can talk about it. You guys can suggest things. And I started this channel a year and a half ago. Actually, this channel I only started about a year ago, after my main channel, which is at 144,000 subscribers, which is Marfoogle News, this is TV, got struck. In fact, it got struck. I started this channel right after the Parkland event, and that's because I did a video on Mr. Hogg. That video got struck, and I could not go live for 90 days, I believe it was, and it felt like the longest 90 days ever. Because at that time, that channel was all live. I only did live shows, and, not to go live is just, pretty crappy for a live channel. So that was where Marfoogle TV was birthed. This channel has all of the long-form call-in, news, everything else. You can go back and see everything. We archive everything. So make sure to check out the website. It's awesome that you have that resource there. Not for just for being able to access this, to be able to access all the work we've put into collecting the news and reference it. I've said this before. When you go through all of the things like this, so this disaster drill, right? This is one of hundreds, and I've been covering these every time they pop out, and we're not even covering all of them. We can't find all of these in the news unless you guys send them to us. This one, little tiny local news covered this. It's a countywide disaster drill. These are happening all over the country, and when you start putting the dots together, when you start connecting the dots, you'll start to see that there's a pattern here. There's a lot of weird preparation going on all over the country. I've shown you the HDS ads all over the country asking for people that can essentially play a part in a drill or something like this to help responders practice. We've had several big drills. We just had the big shakeout in Washington, California, or Oregon. I mean, basically the whole west side of the country practiced for the big one. There's all sorts of drills going on as far as chemical stuff. And we're talking about specific things that they're preparing for. A car basically driving into a huge amount of people going up, and chemicals going everywhere. This is a specific scenario that they believe is, something that's going to happen in the future. Why I think that? One, because they're drilling exactly for that. They've talked about it. They just did a huge drill where we just showed you the news about a month ago where they said they had been planning for months. And it was so funny because that 2 days before, a gentleman got arrested for exactly that in his manifesto. That was his plan. And he was a military guy. So there's a lot of weird strings here. As far as the 39 bodies, we'll talk about that here in a second. So we'll get through this fast. We've got some weird news as well. If you've been watching lately, we have been covering the weirdest news from around the country and from around the world. So we'll get to that as well. Again, the number is 224-400-MARF. Give Dex a call. He's lonely. Out of Kankakee County, it says a countywide full-scale disaster drill will take place October 24th from 6:45 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So that's actually in that, it's probably finishing up right here, right now in the next 5 minutes. It says, because I think that's central. I'm not sure if that's Eastern. That might be already done. During this time, community members may notice an increase in emergency personnel, particularly in the Limestone area or in or around local hospitals in response to an incident scenario that requires a large medical response. The exercise involves a collaborative response from fire, EMS, law enforcement, as well as Riverside Medical Center and Amita St. Mary's Hospital. So you notice how there's not much here. This is a tiny blurb and a big drill. Locals have told us that this is a chemical scenario. Again, I have shown you time after time after time what is going on, what they're preparing for, and still there's not mainstream coverage of this. If all of the states are preparing for a very specific scenario, you would think that they would prepare the country and say, hey, this is what is actually being said. You all need to have things prepared. They are telling, we've had several EMS workers, different workers from these fields, including police officers, say that they are being told for their own personal safety that to have things like duct tape and things like that around the house and plastic and things like that to seal your house. Now, this isn't to scare anybody, but what they don't know, when they tell that at that level, at the police or EMS level, they're basically telling them, we don't have all of the information. What we do know is it's going to happen somewhere. Again, they knew about all sorts of events beforehand. They just didn't have the time or the location. So what are you supposed to do with it? Unless you have the time or location, there's not much you can do other than panic everybody and say, hey, everybody get this stuff done. But what they have done is they've told many states, EMS, police, and responders, one, have the kind of things lying around your house that can protect you against that, and you'll be fine. So most people, it doesn't cost as much as you would think to kind of seal up your home. I would definitely take a peek. If you own a home or even an apartment is probably better. I would just look at the simple options as far as like plastic wrap. They sell these little tiny, the size of a book, really thick plastic that you could tape up over windows and things like that if you needed to. If you don't need to and never need to, and hopefully you never do, you have spent $11 at Home Depot and you have them in basically what could fit in one drawer of your house. You're talking about a junk drawer worth of stuff that could potentially, seal up all your windows from something horrible. It's one of those things that people don't think about, even though this is what the country is drilling for. The country is talking about EMP. They are heavily, they're even talking about night vision goggles for police. Why would they need that? So there's a lot of things going on. Of course, if you have a personal experience to share from this, hey, you might be getting done with this. Maybe you saw this today and was like, what the heck is that? Give us a call at 224-400-MARF. Now, here's a story we were going to cover last night. It said California utility sets another blackout amid fire fears. Now, it says the state's largest utility said it will go ahead and blah, blah, blah. This is essentially what was said yesterday. They were afraid of blackouts and fire. And, of course, here's this morning's news. Fire erupts as California's hit with second round of blackouts. So if we would have went on last night, we would have shown you that essentially they straight up told us there was going to be fire, there was going to be blackouts, and now there is. It says a Northern California wildfire exploded in size early Thursday morning, this morning, as dangerously windy weather prompted the state's largest utility to impose electrical blackouts in an effort to prevent fire catastrophes. The fire in the Sonoma County wine region north of San Francisco grew to more than 15 square miles before dawn, and authorities ordered evacuation near the small community of Gyersville. There was no immediate information about what caused the fire, wink wink, but wildfire risk was extremely high as humidity levels plunged and gusty winds up to 70 miles per hour hit the region. So the Pacific Gas and the PG&E utility on Wednesday began rolling blackouts stretching from the Sierra foothills in the northeast to portions of the San Francisco Bay Area in a bid to keep the electrical grid from causing fires due to the wind that can send power lines toppling, starting fires. So a question is to be asked, if you live in California right now, how the heck do you deal with this? And they're talking about they may do this for 10 years in the future. Well, what if the earth and whatever the weather keeps getting worse and worse? You're talking about, big chunks of the year. Somebody from there said that this could become so bad that certain parts would become unlivable. And that would be because of the growing trends in the hotter weather, the more humid weather. Essentially, if you live there, you wouldn't have power. And this is happening more and more. Now, there are rolling blackouts in several parts of the state again. And some of you are screaming, that's great. They're super happy. They're like, hey, as long as there's no fires, if they're trying to protect us from fires, that's awesome. But a lot of people are questioning what the hell is really going on. This is a bankrupt company owned by the Rothschilds. And what is happening right now is, here's one thing I don't get. If you are even partially owned, or say some of the other people that own this company, take money from one of your other companies and fix this. People's lives are at stake. They say they're turning off the power, this and that. That probably hurts them even more because, think about it, they're not charging for that power. So there's not a lot of motivation to just turn it off to turn it off. But they also probably want to avoid lawsuits from, say, fires taking away lives or homes. And then they have to say, well, we were responsible for that fire that took those lives and those homes. Now, these guys were also involved with the Paradise event, and that one did not end up well. It was one of the worst fires we've seen. And some folks don't even believe what even happened. But these guys definitely took the brunt of the blame publicly. So these blackouts, imagine, I just want people to think about it. Imagine the entire country out. Imagine, say, everything went out. People think in their brain that EMP or a massive blackout of the entire country can't happen. Look at some of the other countries. Venezuela was one of the richest countries in the world, and it had a great infrastructure, by the way, in most of the parts. All went out. And they say that could have been hacking, that could have been whatever else. I have shown you there was 578 unreported things that have happened to our grid over the last 9 years. Only one was talked about in public. So they're not going to give us any warning. You're going to lose power and you're not going to know what's up. You're going to say there's no storm, there's no nothing, there's no fire, and you're not even in California. And then you're going to be like, well, what the heck is going on? That's my opinion. I'm going to stick to it. I think that again, we're going to talk about the really big one, and I'm not talking about the big one in California. I'm talking about the really big one, the 9+ magnitude earthquake that's going to happen in the West Coast, which, by the way, there's still a lot of people that don't even know about it, or they think that it's like some sort of myth, like or some sort of thing that's like far off in the future, like Yellowstone. Yellowstone could happen in 600,000 years. The cascade of subduction goes off. That's a full margin rupture on average every 240 years. It's been 319. The last one was the year 1700, and now we are at year 2019. They have records of tsunamis going all the way to Japan. The Native Americans have multiple, if not dozens, of legends from that event. From that one event, they had whales flying in 20 miles in. And they, flying whales, the thunderbirds, essentially, I believe was a story of the eagle bringing a whale inland. That was how the Native Americans looked at it back then. Now, I'm not an expert on Native American folklore, but there was a lot of things that happened, and they recorded it in some of their verbal stories, and then people found the different scientific evidence. Then Japan showed their written evidence. They had everything wrote down. They had it. That's how we knew it, down to the T, down to the date, through carbon dating, through tree dating, through every kind of dating, that we are way overdue. And when that happens, it's going to knock out. We have a really old school grid, if you really think about it. You've got wires going from pole to pole, pole to pole, pole to pole. This isn't some sort of new crazy technology. It's the same technology, maybe slightly better metals used and things like this, and it's controlled by computer. So I just have to say, it's not only the people in California that need to have stuff around. We just got a whole crap load of more candles. Just anything that would help you in the event of no power, get it, because you might need it. This is the weirdest part. So now I wanted to say a couple things that I did not hear about this story that I not a lot of people have been connecting. So they say it's the worst human smuggling tragedy, right? They say that nobody's even talking about it. They're talking about that maybe this was an accident, that they were trying to smuggle humans in and this accidentally happened. I don't think so. If you know anyone who has told you the stories of the dark web, you know that there are some far, far more devious things than, say, smuggling somebody across the border going on the dark web. In fact, when you talk about human trafficking, you can't forget about the black market on organs and cadavers. I want you to think about this. So I'm going to read this real quick. It says, authorities found 39 people dead in a truck in an industrial park in England on Wednesday and arrested the driver on suspicion of murder in one of Britain's worst human smuggling tragedies. It says police were reconstructing the final journey of the victims as they tried to piece together where they were from and how they came to be in England. It says, quote, to put 39 people into a locked metal container shows a contempt for human life. That is evil, said Jackie Doyle Price, a member of Parliament who represents the area where the truck was found. Quote, the best thing we can do in memory of those victims is find the perpetrators and bring them to justice. So notice they say perpetrators as in the driver was working for somebody. The driver was just the mule. The driver was just the guy driving the truck. Now, I want to point out a couple things. This was a refrigerated truck. I believe. Hey, Dex, this was a refrigerated truck, correct?
Yes, that's what I read, refrigerated truck.
So the refrigerated truck, as far as that goes, they suffocated. This is how they passed away. They passed away because there was no oxygen in there. 39 people, including a teenage boy, apparently, in a refrigerated truck. And they found the driver wearing a full forensics suit. That guy was not intending from minute one to take them across any kind of border or to bring them to their final destination. This was a case of they were taking them, they were going to get their live bodies to a location, suffocate them, freeze them the second that they are basically all out. Then they take the cadavers, they take their organs, and they take it to the black market. That is my theory on this. That's not what fact is saying right now. But facts are saying it was a refrigerated truck. They all died by suffocation. I mean, literally, they set these guys up. They locked him in, and the guy was wearing a forensic suit. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to see that this was very odd. And people are just saying that this guy was trying to help smuggle him across. And I bet you that's going to be some sort of defense for him, like, hey, I was just driving these guys across, I didn't know. And I will tell you, that theory is probably where most people are going to go, right? It's funny, because I've seen like 10 stories already on this, and nobody's going there. I'm like, think about it. I hope that this gets out, and I hope that people get around. You know, as much as I don't like folks doing any kind of border crossing and things like this, because this happens over there too. They have their own issues with this. As much as that is a problem, no human being deserves to die like this. I hope that nobody takes the opportunity and says, you know, like, oh, well, it's a cheap trip, or say they do it for free, or they say, hey, we're going to get you into America, or we're going to get you into England, or we're going to get you into here. Just hop in the back of this refrigerated truck. I hope that people see this and go, no, I'm good. I'm not going to get into a truck with a airtight seal. That's just dumb. So this is just one of the creepiest things ever. Now, Dex, didn't they say that this was one of the worst? They were investigating it. At first, everybody thought it was a murder. Everybody thought that it was like like a serial killer thing, right?
Yeah, one of the early headlines I read was it started in that path. They were like, it seems like there's some sort of mass murderer and an investigation into that. And I was thinking, wow, somebody's just transporting, their bodies that they've been collecting or something. But yeah, it turns out as the story progressed, we see where we are now with it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so a couple things were just said in the chat that just really creep me out. First one I think is spot on for what is what's being talked about. Suzanne Pearson says, I was thinking Bioware Warfare with the truck, just me, but it would be easy to place deceased bodies in parks, etc. Maybe I watched too much 24, LOL. I don't think that that's crazy at all. I think that that's something that has probably been talked about or planned. 11 Pagan 11 says, so sad, prayers to their family. I agree. There was a teenage boy in there. Absolutely horrific. Wow, Ginger Grin, good point. Says they need to leave humans alone and just 3D print organs. And then somebody made another point here. I was trying to see that. Let's see. Somebody said something here. Let's see. Scott Gamlin said, Oregons probably pay 100 times more than smuggling people across the border. Well, think about how many things can be donated on a fresh, healthy cadaver that they basically serve up on a platter, get them at the moment of death. That's another thing. You can't get, even if somebody dies, you might be across town or whatever else, or across the country to get that matching thing. Think about this. Think about if they actually get if you're evil, you could get their blood type, you could get their DNA test, you could say, hey, this is part of the whole process, we're going to help you guys out, we're going to get you into the country, sit down, take a blood test, do all that. Basically, see if they're a match for the person before they get them in the truck. Then get a match for, say, 39 different people, take them in the truck, get them all at once. Make millions, if not billions of dollars off of, say, just 40 people. And they get them at the moment of death because they're killing them. Now, that sounds crazy. I agree. But this is the evil world that we live in. And people don't see the underground stuff that happens. And if you've ever accidentally been on the dark web in the wrong room, you probably already know. This stuff is real. And it's as real as you get. There was a really great point, and I can't find it anymore. Dang it. Essentially, somebody said, the Bioware Warfare thing, that I think that's a very scary thought. But dang, I wish I would have caught that too. Alish says, I'm thinking organ harvesting, lots of money there. Yeah, I definitely agree. Stuart Barker says, yes, it's true, Adam, here in UK. That's awesome. For all my UK folks, what do you guys think about this? Also, one thing we don't get is, I know we get a lot of UK folks watching the show. I know this from our statistics, but, is it impossible for you guys to call? I guess I wonder what time it is there, and maybe that's why you don't call, but maybe we should try to do something and get some sort of international number, because I would love to hear what's going on over there as well. All right, so moving on. They say that there's an E. coli superbug, and they say that washing your hands is the best way to stop it. So they're always coming out with this kind of stuff, especially this source. This is from CNN. It says, people failing to wash their hands after going to the toilet rather than undercooked meat or other food is behind the spread of antibiotic resistant E. coli. According to a new research, humans and animals carry E. coli bacteria in the gut. It is usually harmless, but some strains cause food poisoning, others cause urinary tract infections or UTIs, and the most dangerous lead to bloodstream infections. E. coli has become more antibiotic resistant over the past 20 years. Strains with extended spectrum beta-lactamases, or ESBLs, enzymes destroy penicillin and other antibiotic called cephalosporin. It says scientists have now discovered that the likeliest route of transmission for ESBL-E. coli is directly from human to human, with fecal particles from one person reaching the mouth of another. Ugh. So they're saying that essentially you need to wash your hands more. I think that's kind of a common sense thing. I don't know why they even needed to tell somebody this. As I touch my eyeball, I always get grossed out by that. I'm somebody who always has hand sanitizer in my pocket, even the little bottles. I just think that there's a lot of gross things out there, gross people, and nothing against them, but you.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
I covered this in my little short show the other day, but do you recall when they talked about the Golden Arches, the company? I don't want to name their names, so I really don't want to bash them, but they installed those devices where you could order your food yourself on the kiosk. Do you remember that they came out and said that there was a lot of fecal matter on those kiosks?
Oh no, I used those.
Yeah. So sanitize your hands afterwards.
Oh.
That was one of when those came out, there was a big report on it. So when you said this, it made me think of that. So yes.
Oh, I've used those a lot. There's always there was a McDonald's by my old house, and literally it would be like 14 people in line. If you went up to that machine, it would just freaking work. There are these big touchscreen things. Don't use those. There's even more weird fecal news later, and we'll get to that. Fecal transplants, but we'll save that for later. Basically, wash your damn hands. And if you see, and I'm sorry, you should tell somebody, you should straight up call them out. I don't care if you're alpha or beta male. If you see a dude go to the bathroom and not wash your hands and they come out, you call their ass out. And if you especially see a damn employee at McDonald's or something like that do it, don't be quiet about it. Go up to their man and embarrass the hell out of them. Go up to all the people, including the customers they're serving, and say, that dude did not wash his hands after taking a piss or whatever he did. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. And I know that there's people deep down there like, well, they do it. Not, do your thing, man. But if I see it, I'm going to call it out. Like, that's disgusting. Either way, moving on. There's way better news than this. Alien hunters NASA team up to scan planets for signs of intelligent life. Now, this is a whole show by itself. There have been so many stories, including them confirming those Navy videos of the UFOs being real. There's been just one after another, after another, after another. They have stories saying, what if we told you aliens were real? What if they told you we discovered? Well, we feel like we are going to discover them. We feel like they're, that we're going to find out in the next year and blah, blah, blah. Tons, hundreds of articles about this. They're pushing this so hard. I mean, this is a daily thing. This is as much on the radar as, say, asteroids. Now, I've shown you guys. Once I pointed it out to some of you, you noticed that every single day there is an asteroid the size of Big Ben, the size of a giant shark, the size of Sears Tower, the size of the Space Needle, the size of Roseanne, passing by Earth at any given time. And I will say that there is just it's like desensitization to this kind of stuff. Are aliens going to come soon? Is there a fake invasion coming? Whatever else. Now, that sounded crazy 3 or 4 years ago. Does it now? You've got Harvard and Yale scientists saying that there's aliens, saying that they even think that these interstellar visitors are basically spaceships doing a tour guided mission right next to Earth. What do you think? Give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. I'd love to hear your opinion or your experience. NASA's TESS scans the sky to find planets, and now the worlds it finds will be checked for techno-signatures. So I'm guessing that means for some sort of signals. Hundreds of the nearest newfound exoplanets will soon be scanned for evidence of intelligent life. Intelligence life. Yeah, that's very intelligent right there. Thanks to a collaboration between leading SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, scientists and NASA's newest planet hunting satellite. The breakthrough Listen SETI initiative, based out of the University of California, Berkeley, announced Wednesday that it would be teaming up with scientists working on the Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite, the successor to the Kepler Space Telescope that launched in 2018. Quote, "We are very enthusiastic about joining the breakthrough Listen SETI search," TESS Deputy Science Director of MIT, Sarah Seeger, said in a release. She also said, quote, "Out of all the exoplanet endeavors, only SETI holds the promise for identifying signs of intelligent life." So they're essentially searching for any kind of signatures on these planets, which they've been doing for years. They've had SETI. They're now spending $20 million investigating UFOs at the Navy. They have now come out and essentially said that for at least 15 years, they have had these UFOs that are just something out of this world. And, now it's just so funny that they say all of this. And then you've got things happening where Edward Snowden comes out yesterday, I believe it was, on Joe Rogan. And he actually did this interview with Joe Rogan, and he said that he had access to NSA, CIA, all of those different secret computers. I mean, like literally the Google of NASA or NSA and CIA. He had that back access, like ridiculous access to this. And he said that he searched all of it and found nothing. Found no aliens living at Area 51, found no proof of life anywhere else. But then you've got actual Pentagon confirmations of it. You've got this and that. So what does that make you think? Does it almost make you think that the Pentagon kind of wants you to think that there's aliens somewhere else? Do you think that maybe they are pushing us to think of something coming? Everybody goes back to the famous Reagan statement where he says, maybe we would all get under one thing together if we had some sort of exterior threat to the planet Earth. Say an alien race was coming to get us. Maybe we would all come together and, become a one world order if we had a common enemy, right? that was something said that a lot of people quote because it would be a good strategy. Say they made some sort of craft or did some sort of Project Blue Beam projection in the sky of a huge ship. All they would have to do is say the Pentagon responded, keep everybody out, and say, their demands are that we all get together, have one currency, they explained religion. It's one religion, one money, one everything. Now that sounds crazy, but when you look at everything that goes on and you hear some of the rumors about what's talked about at the Bilderbergs, it's really crazy. I mean, like the fictional stuff that people say is like taboo and conspiracy, all that stuff. A lot of it is making more sense than life. In fact, Edward Snowden in that interview said that, people want things to be real, right? You want these things to be real because it makes sense out of life. I think it goes both ways. As far as Edward Snowden, what do you guys think? I would love to hear your opinion on why he said he had the ultimate access. I don't think if they did have an alien at Area 51, if they did have this stuff, even if you had the most ridiculous access to the computers at NASA, I think that they would have that compartmentalized. Maybe I'm making excuses because one part of me always thinks that, that there's something out there or that some sort of fallen angel connection, something is there. And I understand, people can't talk about this kind of stuff without being looked at like they're crazy or like they're whatever. There's plenty of people with respectable careers, respectable positions, very intelligent people, college-educated folks that believe that there's something out there. In fact, they've done studies and they say like upwards of 9 out of 10 people believe in some sort of life outside of Earth. And some studies say, one in 7, 1 in 9. Some say almost everybody believes in some sort of thing. But I think that this whole thing is like it's almost a setup. I mean, it's every single day. Now, again, just to add in there, the collaboration between these two will add over 1,000 new objects of interest. Now, just watch. They're going to have 1,000 more objects of interest and find something all of a sudden. They keep telling us they are going to tell us that there is alien life. So whether that's true or not, it sounds like they are saying it. So here is one of the craziest studies I've seen in a long time. And this totally goes to show you what people are thinking. 7 in 10 say U.S. is on the edge of civil conflict. Can't say the W word, otherwise the platform will slap me in the face. It says partisan political division and the resulting incivility has reached a low in America, with 67% believing that the nation is nearing civil conflict. And of course, by conflict, I mean the W word that I cannot say. And it says, according to a national survey, the majority of Americans believe that we are 2/3 of the way to being on the edge of a civil conflict. That is, to me, a very pessimistic place. The executive director of Georgetown University said. And worse, he said, in announcing the results of the Institute's Battleground Poll Civility Survey, the political division is likely to make the upcoming 2020 presidential race the nastiest in modern history. That I can believe. I will stand behind that 100%. This next election with T-Man running again, and the several opponents, if you even want to call any of them that, it's going to be a really nasty one. We're talking about, this is almost the level of idiocracy, from not Matt Groening. Was it Matt Groening? No, it was I'm pretty sure it was Matt Groening. I'm doubting myself. Dex, idiocracy was Matt Groening, right?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Macron. Yeah.
And you think about the nasty ads. You remember when it was when it was Clinton no, the previous Clinton, even when it was Clinton Bush, or I'm sorry, even in Clinton's days, Bush's days, Obama's days, the political ads were nasty. Now they have YouTube, they have ads, they have Facebook, they have all these things. It's going to be a cat match this year. This is probably going to be the worst year, and you're talking about pulling out all the stops on trying to get him to lose or to get somebody else to beat. I mean, like, this is going to be nuts. After the last election, obviously, people are still mad about it, and it's about to be the next election. So this is a big deal. It says, now I would like to read you a list of statements that some people have said about American politics today. Please listen carefully as I read each statement and tell me if you would agree or disagree with that particular statement. Behavior that used to be seen as unacceptable is now accepted as normal behavior. Wow, look at this. Basically, everyone says that unacceptable behavior is now normal behavior. Nobody wants to speak up. You know what this says? This says that nobody effing stands up and wants to be the sore thumb sticking out. You understand that there's a lot of subjects that we all go, oh, well, we've got to be politically correct. Oh, we got to use the right words. Oh, I can't say that. I can't do this. I can't put this on a cake. We're all thinking it, but nobody says it. We have to have a private little public anonymous survey to say this is not what we want. So who the hell is telling us to do it? It's a small, tiny percentage that are in, the highest places in media, and these actors that essentially they've got a handler, they've got somebody above them, they've got somebody, they've got their small little crowd of, these nasty people that do all sorts of just evil things, and they're the ones telling us what we should be thinking about. Doesn't make much sense to me. Does it make sense to you? This is just one little part of this. And I guarantee you that they're all going to be the same. It says, I'm tired of leaders compromising my values and ideals. I want leaders who will stand up to the other side. 84% this last time around in April, 79%. They want leaders who will stand up to the other side. You're going to see this over and over again where people won't stand up and say they don't agree with what's going on. There's a few people that will, and they're very outspoken, and they almost immediately get shut down. We've seen a couple of them on this platform. So that's pretty bad. 7 out of 10 people think we are going to be at a civil conflict soon. That's pretty bad. Quantum leap in computing as scientists claim supremacy. Now, for time constraints on this, I do want you guys to check out Dex's full video on this. He actually covered this in a great detail over on Dex J, the channel. I'm sure we can add that link somewhere. Dex, can you explain this? Because I'm not going to try to act like I know what the hell this is about. What is the quantum leap?
So just to put it into, I guess, simple terms, we have computers like we all have on our desk, and they've evolved rather quickly, and we think they're pretty powerful. They also have supercomputers that are like these massive, they look like mainframes like they used to be in the day, these massive big computers that are basically just a whole bunch of these processors put together, and they're very, very fast. Quantum computing is taking a completely different approach to how they process information, and with the what they call a qubit, and I don't want to go into the details of explaining that, but with each one of these qubits they add, they get exponential power. So instead of just doubling the power, they're actually multiplying it by itself, and it's getting significant. What they did and what they're proving is that they're now being able to do things with this quantum computing technology that would take our big supercomputers 10,000 years to accomplish. So a mathematical problem or a calculation that would take a very expensive computer 10,000 years to accomplish, they're doing it in 200 seconds, less than 3 minutes. That is a huge advancement. And the thing that's really scary about this is it basically is going to when this technology becomes widely available, it's going to make things like encryption, which we all rely on every day. When you go to a website, when the bank that stores all of your information, all of these other companies that are storing your, private or personal information, you may encrypt things on your computer. It'll make all of that encryption obsolete, because right now it can take thousands of years for a computer to crack that encryption, unless you have a backdoor code, like maybe the 3-letter agency that begins with N. But with this new processing power that they're coming up with quantum computing, they're going to be able to bust any type of encryption in a mere seconds. So it basically makes things like cryptocurrency, any type of cryptography that you're using to secure data, obsolete. So it's now going to turn into a cat and mouse game where we have to figure out ways to start protecting data against these new machines. So this supremacy.
Wow, so you're saying that they would not be able to
deal.
hide anything. They would not be able to encrypt information. They would not be able to hide our secret plans. They would not be able to have any kind of confidential information, because these guys with the quantum supremacy computers can just quantumize quantities of quantums.
Right.
I think you said it better.
Exactly. I the first thing that we need to worry about is going to that's the easiest quick hack for these computers to go after. But when they get more stable, the next thing is going to be the AI. We're scared of AI today with just the regular supercomputing, or even just the massive processing that we have on cloud computing that can do AI. Imagine when something that is 10,000 times faster can start taking an AI algorithm and do learning. I mean, it's game over when that happens. It's going to be really scary.
Yeah, it's definitely disturbing. Well, thank you, Dex. You did a much better job explaining that than I would have.
Sure.
Much appreciated. So before I go over to this next one, that one's a big one. Okay, I want to talk about this because that's going to be a big deal. First, I want to welcome all the new folks in the last hour. These are all new subscribers in the last hour. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. So if you want one, make sure to subscribe now. Chad Adair, welcome to the family. D. McKenna, welcome. W. Hamilton, thank you for subscribing. Eric Nosworthy. Charlene Treasure Trove, thank you for subscribing. And Charlene, sorry about that. His Queen 711, thank you. He says, love you, Marf. Could you please wish hubby Joe Vanderlick happy B-Day, please? Joe Vanderlick, happy birthday. I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for just sticking around for everything. His queen, I'm guessing, Joe Vanderlick, is the king. Jim West, thank you for subscribing 41 minutes ago. Frederick Brazima School of Music, welcome to the family. Thomas Bryan, hello, Marfoogle Fam, from a tree stand in Arkansas. That's awesome. It's so crazy to think about where everybody is watching the show. We were just talking about that because of the coast to coast thing. People at night, trucking, all of our night shows. I know that there's a lot of people they're either at work or doing night shift or whatever. It's so awesome to hear where everybody are. Prepper Ilea, the geysers are 3 miles from my house. It was on fire. I was up all night watching it from my back porch. It was blowing. It's blowing away from me for now. Prepper Ilea, I don't know. You probably already have. I haven't checked Instagram today. You should take videos of that and post it. If I can get to it, I would love to see video of that, and I could post it on the channel. I know that, so Prepper Ilea has been right in the middle of kind of all of these things, and I believe you're one of the people that kind of say, you support the power offs because you don't want another fire next to your house. And I do see where you're coming from. Staff Sergeant Retired Shoe has subscribed. Thank you. And sounds like thank you for your service as well. Patrick Watchford, thank you, says number 5. Florida Patriot 71 says love to you all. Thank you all, and Dex do. Will be listening while I work. Great to catch you live. I hope those doggies are doing well, Florida Patriot. I appreciate you more than you know. Zarkin1, thank you for subscribing. Seeker MW, Kitty Cat 100, 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, Debbie Tidwell, Christine Broderick. Love this time slot. Thanks, Adam and Dex. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Robert Morgan at Mars Anomalies showed a craft flying on Mars. So I actually showed, I believe we showed, I don't know if that channel was the same one, but I think we showed the original source of that as well. Sunshine Ecstasy Girl. Fragrance in H sanitizers contain phthalate. Bad. From Canada. Thank you, Sunshine. That is very true. Carrie Maurice, 4 minutes ago, has subscribed. Little Allison, CEO Big Dill, Crazy Topher Nope, 3 minutes ago, subscribed. Thank you guys. Whole bunch of new folks here today. Prosperous Music. Thank you for the $5 super chat. QRL, Quantum Resistant Ledger Quantum Proof Encryption, or Hash Graph Guys. I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure Dex does. QRL, Quantum Resistant Ledger Quantum Proof Encryption, or Hash Graph Guys.
Sounds like like I said, it's the cat and mouse game of improving encryption against quantum computing. So probably a ledger, which is blockchain.
That sounds very quantum. I don't know. That's awesome. Larry Z24, thank you for subscribing just now. John Ciora, thank you for subscribing just now. And Sunlight Sucker, like the time. That's awesome. Thank you guys. And thanks for those of you who just supported. As you guys know, I don't ask for donations, but you are supporting the growth of this agency, and we are trying to get bigger. We are trying to bring on 2 new people. We are trying to travel to cover some of these things. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Tiger Lover 860 Roblox has subscribed. That's awesome. My daughter plays Roblox all the time. Okay, let's get it on to the next. We're going to be opening up the phones here in a second. Not yet, though. You can call 224-400 MARF if you would like to call in. Make sure to have your 5-minute call ready. Hazmat team responds when uranium delivered to halfway house. Okay, so this is weird. Dex, you actually, either yourself or one of our Foogle family members found this. What in the heck is going on? It says, yeah,
apparently somebody ordered some uranium. I didn't know that was available in my Amazon Prime, but apparently it is. Well, not really Amazon, but you get the point.
It says a hazmat team responded to a halfway house in Pennsylvania this week after a resident received an order of uranium through the mail. Authorities say no charges will be filed because the shipment was legal and possesses no health threats. It says Upper Darby police say the Harwood house resident ordered 2 grams of powdered uranium for $12 from a Michigan company. It was in powder form and sealed inside a glass vial within a cardboard box when it was delivered Monday afternoon. The halfway house screens all incoming packages and found the powder. They notified authorities, who determined that the substance was uranium-238, a material that can be shipped through the mail. It's not clear why the resident ordered the uranium. Authorities say the substance posed no health threat. What the F? Like, what? And why is that legal? Like, what else would you use uranium for? Like, what in the right, what it, like, it's a halfway house, so maybe it's a drug addict. Was he going to snort it? Like, it came in powder form. Maybe it was to play a joke.
Isn't the next. Yeah, I hope this isn't the next medical wave of, alternative medicine, like turpentine or something.
Oh, gosh.
That's crazy.
That would be nuts. Just from... But why uranium? Oh, my gosh. You're totally right. Like, what if they think it's going to cure their addiction or something? Sounds really weird. I wonder, after the show, we'll have to look to see if anybody has tried uranium for some sort of homeopathic use. Otherwise, I would be looking at that guy much more serious. See, here's the thing. So watch in 2 years, this guy ends up making a huge explosive or something. And there was this time where he orders uranium, but they just kind of let it go and go, oh, well, whatever, it was legal, right? Now, this may not be that situation, but there have been so many times, including all of the biggest, FF or Fantastic Freddy's that have happened over the last few years, where they go, oh, this guy was brought in by the FBI twice. He actually, has been brought in by questioning for, being a T-cell person and all this, and let go. It's like they know that these people are, like this, but they don't do anything about it. So here's another, they've just been pushing this hard lately. Humans could land on Mars by 2035 thanks to manned moon mission in 5 years, NASA chief claims. It says NASA has doubled down on his promise. That's funny. NASA has doubled down on his promise. I guess it's masculine Spanish, right? NASA has doubled down on his promise to land humans on Mars in the 2030s. I think that's a typo. Potentially as early as 2035. Space Agency Chief Jim Bridenstine made the bold claim, saying the advanced timeline is thanks to ongoing mission to put man back on the moon. NASA Chief Jim Bridenstine thinks we could put humans on Mars by 2035. NASA is currently planning to return to the lunar surface with a manned mission in just 5 years. If we are accelerating the moon landing, we are accelerating the Mars landing, Jim said, speaking at the International Astronautical Congress. It says a journey to the Red Planet could be accelerated due to advancements in space exploration made for the 2024 manned mission to Mars. Quote, we can move up the Mars landing by moving up the moon landing to 2024, Jim explained at the time. We need to learn how to live and work in another world. The moon is the best place to prove those capabilities and technologies. Doesn't this kind of creep you out that they are so dead set on going to some other planet? It makes me wonder what the hell is going on. I just don't know about this, and they've been talking about it nonstop. This is something that's going to happen. So no matter what you believe or what side of, the Earth debate you're on, we're going to see some crazy stuff in the next couple years. It says humans could land on Mars by 2035, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Scariest haunted house in U.S. requires a 40-page waiver, doctor's note, and a safe word. Nope. No, thank you. Apparently, so my wife actually pointed this out to me yesterday morning, and I was like, no, this just sounds not like my thing. They ask for an actual doctor's note from your doctor saying that you can do this, and they also have a safe word. And almost everybody's first response is like, what the hell do they do to you there? I think that it's something where they like grab you, they physically grab your ankle and pull on you or push you or whatever. And I'm thinking that, if you had any kind of heart or, blood pressure thing, that this could give you a heart attack. I mean, like, this literally could give somebody a heart attack. How scary it is. I've never heard of something so serious, but people are going through all of the trouble to do it because it's supposed to be literally the scariest haunted house in U.S. history. Very, very, very crazy. It says, featured on Netflix's Haunters, Art of the Scare, and on an episode of Dark Tourist, McCamey Manor is a see-to-believe type of attraction. So I think this has been around for multiple times. Maybe they're just covering it again because of Halloween being, less than, actually, it's exactly a week to go until Halloween. So very creepy, but which, by the way, we're definitely going to do a Halloween themed show. We're definitely going to feel the spirit of Halloween here. Here's some serious news. Now, again, we have to cover some serious things along with, we want to try to make this as fun as possible because a lot of the things that we're talking about here and a lot of things that we're getting in are scary as hell. I don't think a lot of the new folks that are watching understand that this is kind of a news show, but we have groups preparing in 50 states. Some states are more serious than others. Some states even have 6 different zones, and they are preparing in different cities. Just to kind of sum it up, I believe in many of the other people watching this show believe that we are going to see something huge happen, and me being from the West Coast, I know that we, sooner than later, are going to have the really big one. And we're talking about the Cascadia Subduction Zone. This is further proof that they are actually pushing forward actively. And we are trying to reach out to these folks and get a statement from them. They believe it's going to happen sooner than later. They don't think it's going to happen in 1,000 years. We know it's overdue, but they know. That's my opinion of it. Washington state seismologists have proposed new earthquake sensors amid concerns about a lack of monitoring technology offshore. Como TV reported, and this is local news here, Thursday that state seismologists submitted the proposal to the International Ocean Drilling Program to add 4 new sensors 1,000 feet below the ocean floor. So essentially, they're going to go out to the ocean and they're going to drill 1,000 feet down. And this is something that has to happen right away. This is something that they've been working on. My aunt and uncle just had a dinner with one of the lead guys at Washington University. I can't say his name because I haven't had his permission yet, but I'm hoping to get him on the show. Once you hear it out of this gentleman's mouth, you're going to be like, what the F? They know this thing is coming, and they are suggesting and they are trying to give brutal evidence to the government saying, hey, we need a warning system. We need something. Otherwise, a lot more people are going to die. Japan, one of the most prepared places in the entire world. Every building was built to a 8.5 standard. 15,000 people died in the exact scenario, a tsunami, 9+ earthquake. This one is going to be closer to land. It's going to go from Washington all the way down to California. This is a full margin rupture. This is a subduction zone. This is the entire 3-state length. So from California, all of Oregon, and all of Washington, and some of Canada, you are going to see a tsunami equivalent, if not bigger than Japan, hit the entire West Coast. That sounds like science fiction. It sounds like a horror film. It sounds like an end of the world movie. But it's real life. And they have said, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, said that everything west of I-5 would be toast. And with the assumption it's going to happen, in 100 years or nobody cares if it's going to happen outside of their lifetime, right? They'll be like, oh, I'm dead and gone. No one ever said it's going to happen in 1,000 years. No one ever said it's going to happen in 100 years. From the evidence that they have now, from the swarms, from the movement, from the fault lines, even down in California, they are seeing all of the patterns open up They think that the earth is moving, the earth is shifting, and now with all this other stuff, with the world humming, they believe they are closer than ever to predicting when this thing's going to happen. And they are saying, get these drilled now. Even if people can get 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds of warning time, it will make a life of difference. So people need to start talking to their local government. If you're in Washington, Oregon, or California, write your local people and say, we want this. We want them to warn us. This is going to affect millions of people. It says seismologists say a magnitude 8 or 9 earthquake could occur at any time in the western Washington along the Cascadia subduction zone. Seismologists say that there's a 15% chance of a massive earthquake that could strike in the next 50 years. But dozens of other fault lines could trigger other damaging quakes. Scientists say that the monitoring project would take multiple stages, millions of dollars, and several years to complete after first gaining approval. Oh, man. I hope that everybody is telling everybody about this. I really hope that people understand that this is going to be one of the worst things we ever see in our lifetimes. Ever. All right. With that being said, it is time for the weird. So weird. Now, we've got some very odd stories here, and trust me, there's actually some better ones for tomorrow's show. Today was pretty damn good. So I wanted to show you a couple of these. Cops, they say a man had sex with stuffed animals at Target. Yeah, that doesn't look like a guy that would have sex with animals at Target. And apparently he has just been charged with criminal mischief. Now, I just really wonder if this was like a joke, like you have a couple friends watching you and you kind of, ha 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 ha, look at this. No, this guy is like a serious weirdo. It says, as detailed in a criminal complaint, Cody Christopher Meter, 20 years old, entered the retailer around 2 p.m. Tuesday and approached a display of merchandise featuring characters from the Disney film Frozen. With love in his eyes, he approached even slower. Meter, seen it right, selected a large Olaf stuffed animal. Oh, Olaf, really? I would think the the squirrel character is a little bit better than Olaf, and proceeded to place it on the floor of the Target in Pinellas Park. He then began to, quote, dry hump the item. Oh my goodness. Until he blank on the merchandise. Okay. That is absolutely disturbing. Wow. Meter then returned the soiled olive back to the display before entering the toy department, where he selected a large unicorn stuffed animal and began to dry hump this item. Oh, that is absolutely disgusting. Ugh. And disturbing. Again, never going to Target again. This one says America's pile of uneaten bacon is the biggest in 48 years. More than 40 million pounds of pork bellies. It says the cuts used for bacon making were sitting in refrigerated warehouses as of September 30th, according to the U.S. government's data released Tuesday. That's the most for the month since 1979. The overhang came after a buildup in the American hog herd. pork output surged over the summer months and through September, said Dennis Smith, senior account executive at Archer Financial Services. Bellies have seen a magnified inventory increase because the demand is mostly domestic, unlike cuts such as ham for overseas. I guess it's weird. It's not that weird. Wyoming man grows 1,491-pound pumpkin, breaks state record. That's pretty cool, actually. It says, in this Wednesday, October 16, 19 photo, Andy Corbin poses for a photo with his almost 1,500-pound pumpkin in Cheyenne. Corbin now once again holds the state record for the largest pumpkin. So that's the size of a small car. I mean, that's huge. Where's the photo for it, though? Let me see here. Trying to find if we have the photo of it. Let's see here. We have it. Boom. 1491 pumpkin. This thing's got to be gigantic. That doesn't even look as big as I thought it would be, weighing 1,491 pounds. It's definitely big. I just thought that would be like way, way bigger. That's sitting in the back of a truck. Man, imagine the how many pumpkin pies could you make with that thing? That would be enough to feed a couple hundred families. Pretty wild. It's not that crazy. Now, this gentleman I think was crazy, but it's not that weird. Man who rode on car has Wilson County charge dropped. They need to put attention on other things. It says, it says, a man who rode on top of a car from Mount Juliet to Nashville at high rates of speed had his case dismissed in Wilson County, but charges are still pending in Davidson County. Ronnie B. Sellers, 31 of Hermitage, was charged with clinging to a vehicle by Mount Juliet police and 3 counts of disorderly conduct by Nashville police for the ride that witnesses estimated reached 70 miles per hour on Interstate 40. Sellers, who disputes the validity of the charges, did not attend a court hearing in Davidson County, and warrants have been issued for his arrest, according to Nashville police and the criminal courts clerk's office. Yeah, that's a waste of tax dollar money if they're actually going after the guy. I think riding on top of his car is just dumb. I mean, like, you know, that's putting other folks' lives in danger. I don't know why he got that dismissed. You would think that they would keep going through with that kind of thing. I don't know. Give me your opinion at 224-400-MARF. How did Booze Bandit stick $1,000 worth of scotch down his pants? Essentially, he got away with $1,000 of scotch. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to try to give you the picture of this, because none of these articles have the pictures, which are important on a show. Let's see here. If first you succeed, then try again and again. A thief who did just that was able to get away with bottles of scotch worth more than $1,000 from a liquor store in Boynton Beach. What I thought was funny is that the guy looked like Urkel, if it will ever load the frickin' picture. This shows you the difference between pages with no ads and ads, which, by the way, if you don't watch the show regularly, we actually take the time to load all these stories separately, so you don't have to deal with the ads or any of this, because it slows down everything. Look at this. There's ads everywhere. I have gigabit speeds, and it's just absolutely absurd.
Adam, I'll give you a tweet if you want to grab it from the screener.
Yes, that would be great. Boom. Oh my gosh, and then it finally does it. There we go. And no, yeah, I guess, you see a bulge in his pants, you go, oh, well, maybe. But really it was, of course, scotch. Wasn't what you thought, and he wasn't happy to see you. And this, of course, let's see here. Boom, boom. Who's guy? Oh, and we got some fault line stuff. Okay, hold on. Bam, bam. So this is the original, one of the original tweet where they're looking for the guy still, apparently. It says, this man stole more than $1,000 worth of scotch from Total Wine on Congress Avenue on October 5th by taking bottles out of the boxes and concealing them down the front of his pants. Need to ID shoplifting. What in the heck? Look at this face. That's his thiz face, as the kids would call it. Or actually, the kids in the early 2000s would have called it the thiz face. Now they would probably flex on something or say that it ain't frizzy or something. I don't know what they say now. But yeah, if you do know who this guy is, call Family Matters from the 90s. They want their Urkel back. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This is disgusting. But apparently it might help people, like seriously help people. I have all sorts of stuff that I've had for a long time. But I don't think I could ever do it. If I had a thumbnail for this, I would have said, shove it where the sun don't shine. Or I'll tell you what you can do with that. Donate it. Fecal transplant could bring relief to half of IBS sufferers. So get this. So what they do is they actually, I'm not even kidding you. This is just like crazy. And there's actual science behind it. Imagine they take, and I don't know how else to say this without being gross. Imagine they take poop from somebody who's really healthy, has perfect guts, and then implanting it into somebody with IBS. Why would they do that? Well, apparently it helps with the symptoms and possibly even cures IBS. How? I have no idea. But essentially what's happening with folks with IBS or any kind of irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, this kind of stuff, is that there's a weird bacteria in their gut and it doesn't ever come out. So what they do is they literally take somebody's poop and put it into somebody else. And there's people called super donors, and they've tried this. This is what's crazy. 77% who received one dose from a super donor and 89% who received 2 doses reported less symptoms compared to nearly 25% of the placebo group. And get this, symptoms completely went away for 35% of the low-dose group and 47%, so half the people that had 2 doses, it is a number 2, I get, okay, dose, I get it. The high dose group, 50% of them completely had all of their IBS symptoms go away. That's nuts. Well, more kind of out of the other end, but that is really gross. But would you do it? Do you suffer from IBS? Would this be something that you would do or give a try? Here's the thing. This has actually been outlawed or by the FDA, and apparently all these other countries, including Norway, have been doing it, and it's been working. Right now, the Food and Drug Administration has warned against it, saying it could carry potential risks of serious infections. I would think so. I would think that this would be something incredibly like bad, but apparently it's actually working. The things that they have tried, like who thought to try that? And if they didn't have any kind of actual like equipment for this, like how did they make the first time happen? Makes you think. It's pretty freaking gross. All right, you guys, so we are going to get into it. If you guys want to help support the channel, you can always end up purchasing an EMP shield. It is a military-tested EMP protection device. You can get one for your home. You can get one for many different devices, including your generator, your RV, your solar panel, your ham radio. You can go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Again, what use is your car or generator if an EMP knocks it out? And of course, they are made in the United States. There is more to come. We've got so many different cool projects coming up, so stay tuned for that. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself or anyone else at the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. We, of course, also have the main channel, Marfoogle News. Make sure to check it out. It is almost at 145,000. Of course, they've taken away our little numbers, so we won't know until it is. But again, please go over and check that out. We are going to be putting out lots of content over the next week. We actually have gone 7 days without posting there, so it's going to be kind of backwards now. It's going to be like a ton of posting there. So make sure to head over and subscribe to Marfoogle News. There's edited short form content, and then we do emergency broadcasts over there. You can just go to marfoogle.news if you want to go over and subscribe. And then, of course, if you have not joined the Foogle Family community, please go do so, marfooglenews.com. We have over 300 active and retired military folks in this group, and if they ever know about anything hitting the fan, if we were having a SHTF scenario, we're going to let you know through this. The whole purpose of this show is really to get all of these people together and then really to prevent any kind of thing that we can. We have made it commercialized to bring more people in, but the main goal of this is to get everybody prepared for disaster and for anything that might come our way. This is more important than anything. Go to the meetings, meet with your fellow neighbors, and let each other know. Like if something happens, we've got each other's backs. So go over and sign up for Marfoogle alerts at marfooglenews.com. If you would like to watch the Earthing movie, please check it out at marfooglenews.com/GT. And of course, if you'd like to support us through ground therapy, you may do so. These mats have changed my life. They've changed a lot of people's lives. Once you do it, you basically know. I sleep on this mat every single night. It fixed my sleep, and it helps the channel. So if you guys do want to support us, a small commission for these, I've always been extremely transparent. We don't ask for anything. We try to earn what we do make at the channel, and we're trying through all this, BS drama that's been going on. It's been even tougher to do the show. And to be honest, I mean, part of the reason why we're doing day shows too is because I'm going to be picking up extra work. So if you guys would like to support the channel, you may do so through ground therapy, through EMP Shield. I don't ask for donations. That's why I would say, if there's something that you guys suggest, we only want to work with companies we believe in. If you have a suggestion, let us know. We want to make sure that we can keep this growing and keep this turning into something that can help people. Okay, and then marfooglenews.com/earthing. Make sure to use the code MH, then you get free shipping. It only helps you, so make sure to use that code MH. And then, of course, if you want to help a charity, we are actually giving the Marfia shirt money to a charity, and you can help support the channel by sharing it with friends. If people will ask you what the Marfia is. The Marfia is family. So literally help support your fellow Mafia members, and if you see somebody getting picked on, stand up for them. I appreciate all of you guys. marfooglenews.com/t-shirts. And now we will get to the first call, which is Mary. So again, if you guys want to read along any of those articles, you can do so at marfooglenews.com. Right there. Boom. We're going to get Mary on the phone here in 2 seconds. Let's see here. All right, we're going to get Mary on here in a second. All right, also, welcome, Rukin. Thank you for subscribing. Ryan M. Green. Tammy Swanson, welcome to the fam. Thief-in-Law says, after seeing the last episode, I'd love to tell you about a large bird I saw while deer hunting in Mississippi. It was the size of a bald eagle, and it had cloaking abilities similar to the predator. Whoa. All right, Mary, you are live with Marfoogle TV. Hold up there. Mary, you there? Mary? What happens is people watch the TV and they don't listen to the phone. It sounds like she put me down to eat some chips. Chips, perhaps. Sandwich. Does it sound like a sandwich to you guys, or does it sound like something else? Sounds like a sandwich. We're going to have to ask her when she finally gets over to the phone. Mary! Well, looks like, Let's see. We might have to go back to Mary. Yep. Let's see here. There's the delay. Sandwich. Does it sound like a sandwich to you guys, or does it sound like something else? Sounds like a sandwich.
Hello.
Mary, we've been here for a minute. Mary.
I'm here.
Okay, we're gonna
I'm here.
Yeah, Mary, you
Can
gotta
you hear me?
You gotta talk to the phone, not the TV, Mary.
I'm here.
Okay, we're gonna have
Hello, Adam.
Okay, we're gonna have Dex explain that. We're gonna have Dex explain to Mary how to do it. And Dex, you're probably gonna get a delay as well. Let's see here. Okay, so Dex, if you can connect back with Mary, let's skip to the next caller first, and then go back to her. But make sure you tell her to listen to the phone and not the TV. You got that, Dex?
Yeah, I got it. Next call is going to be Lena. I'm going to send her over right now.
Okay, perfect. And that's quite all right. We'll get Mary back on. She's probably been on there for a while. Didn't realize. Okay. Okay. All right. Lena, are you there? Lena, can you hear us?
And Dex, you're probably going to get a delay as well.
Okay.
Hello, I'm still here.
Okay, we've got Mary again. Can you hear us now?
Okay, so Dex,
Jeez.
if you can connect back with Mary, let's...
Mary, yeah, it's going to take 45 seconds to delay. Okay. Mary, when you get this message, please put your face to the phone and talk to me on the phone, not through the TV. Make sure your head is to the phone. I know it's very confusing. Okay, Dex, can you put through Lena, please? In the meantime, so it looks like Lena's coming on and... Oh, and that's too bad. Mary's got an interesting call. She's talking about the eclipse of 2017 and 2014 and grays. Boom, there we go. All right, is this Lena? You're live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on? Lena, are you there?
Hi, Marv. How are you?
Hey, there we go. Now we got it. So, let's see here. So I don't have a card. I guess what brings you on the show today, Lena?
Okay, I'm going to keep it short, but I've thought about this. I have two things that I want to stress that are important. The other things are just really quick. I want to shout out you and Lexi and Dex. You guys are the most amazing, loving, most generous people on the face of the planet. I don't know what I would have done these last 2 months that I've been going through. All of this, losing my husband and everything, and Lexi, Dex, and you have just been the most amazing people in my life. Like, I don't know what I'd do without you guys. Like, Lexi came on the scene just recently, and bless her heart, I just adore that girl. Dex, you're a lucky man. Okay, I want to say that. The mods, Lisa, my prayer warrior, I adore you, Lisa. CJ, always having my back, always being there. Jay, I could shout at all you mods. Every time I'm about to go nuts and I feel like I can't breathe, I pick up the phone and I call one of their phone numbers and they pick up and they're there for me. And I want to just thank them all. That's one. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is you talk about people creating channels and you help them and you shout them out and everything. And bless your heart for doing that, because you're the only YouTuber that does that. And you tell people, make a channel. If you got something to share, these people need to hear it. Well, I wasn't going to do a channel. I'm not interested in subscribes or anything. You know me, Marf. I'm not into that stuff. However, I read your chat. Us mods, we read what you people say. We listen to you. Believe it or not, we talk about you when we're not on the chat. We're in Discord talking about this person is doing this. This person needs that. What can we do to help this person? Okay, well, I know a lot. I'm very knowledgeable, especially about prepping. And all the things you see on YouTube about prepping are things that are not feasible for most people. Most people are living dime to dime, dollar for dollar, paycheck to paycheck. I have that knowledge. I know how to teach them how to do this. I have one cooking video up. I just started my channel, so I want you to shout out my channel, LCJC Family. Okay? Again, I don't care about the likes and subscribes. You guys don't want to do that? Don't do it. But come and watch for knowledge, okay? I'm going to teach you about Mylar bags. I'm going to tell you how to put it in a dang 5-gallon bucket. I want to teach you what things you can buy that come in Mylar bags. Start a sticker thing when you send your kids to school with a bag of chips. Tell them if you bring the bag home, I'll give you a sticker. Those are Mylar bags, you guys. You're throwing them away. They cost a lot to buy, the new ones. But everything you buy in the stores now, they put them in those Mylar bags. They're only like a 2 or 3 grade. It doesn't matter. It's still a Mylar bag. It still has a 1 or 2, 3 year shelf life, maybe even 5. I want to teach you guys this stuff. So shout out my channel, Marf. so they can come and watch. I want to show them how to do things. I want to show them how to use canned food so it's not nasty. People are like, oh, great, I have to live on canned food. Not if you know what to do with it. You don't just open a can. You can open a can and eat it. I want to show you how to fix it to make it taste good for your family, should you be stuck eating that stuff, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, this is important, you guys. Everyone's talking about the food shortage, right? How the grains and all this. Well, let me tell you something. I go shopping out here to the discount stores. I live in the Ozarks. There's a lot of Amish discount stores. Not a lot, but there's a few where I live. I go there all the time. I get amazing deals. They always have tons of boxes full of canned goods. Well, guess what? There's no boxes anymore. Where do they get the discount canned foods from? From the major food stores. Why aren't they getting them anymore? Could it be possible those stores don't really have them, that they're filling their shelves to make it look like there's not a food shortage? Why don't the Amish farms, why don't these other discount stores, why are they running out? Because they're not getting them anymore. They're not getting them because they're not getting them from the big stores. If you think there's not going to be a food shortage, you better think again. Okay? It's happening slow. They're going to do it where one day you're going to wake up and say, why didn't I listen to that guy's channel? What was his name, Mark? Why didn't I listen? Why didn't I get food? As you watch your baby starve. Go get food. It's not fear-mongering. You got health insurance. You got medical insurance. You got insurance on your precious little cars. Get insurance for your children's life, for food, basic food. But I want to teach you how to hold that food. And that's what my channel is about. Those are the two important things I want to say. I want to shout all you guys out because you're amazing. All you people that watch the channel, that know us, like talk to us, I love you guys to pieces. All your prayers, all you prayer warriors, you have no idea. I might not have been in the room for the last 2 months that much, and I've been slowly coming back. But your prayers, you have no idea what they meant to me. They meant everything in the world to me. And I want to thank you all for everything you've done for me. The comments you say to me, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, I'm done. Now you can talk. Sorry, Mark.
Hey, it's your show. No, but seriously, LCJC Family is the this is Lena, so she is the one that so the picture actually that you have posted is Charlie, her son, and then she has an adult son that essentially he was injured in the military, and he is an adult son that she has to take care of full time. She lost her husband very briefly. I mean, she was with us when he was diagnosed, and a couple months later he was gone. So, LCJC Family, Lisa, my mod, ended up starting a GoFundMe for Lena, and we raised, I believe, over $4,000 out of the $10,000 goal because she was basically left to support the whole family. He was the breadwinner. So again, we love Lena here. She has been a part of this for a long time, and she is much appreciated. You guys, please go love Mob LCJC Family. She now has purpose. You can hear it in her voice. She is literally trying to help people. She's trying to do something with this time that she's been given, and I feel like, you know, this is a big deal. So please go over, and I'm going to be checking LCJC Family channel until the end of the show. She just gained another 50 right now. LCJC, you know I love you, and thank you for being around through the toughest of times, through people saying lies about me, through you were there. I mean, you've literally been there since the beginning, and I think you, out of all the people, you know about everything that happened behind the scenes, and I just want to thank you for sticking with me through absolutely everything, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, Marf. And I'm not going to get into detail about all that stuff that was going on, but I will say this. Marf puts out the news, okay? He puts out the news. He didn't think this was going to morph into what it did. Marf is a young man that had a vision to just share the truth. That's it. And he goes and he finds these news articles. Some are funny, and most are true. And he puts links so you can go and find them. It morphed into this bigger thing where people are getting together in different states. Like he says, he's not just saying that. I wouldn't even know half the people I know if it wasn't for this show. When our own families think we're crazy and they don't want to listen to us, he gave us an outlet. And now don't take this wrong, but Marf is kind of like out of it because we're all meeting separately apart from him. People are saying, oh, it's a cult. Are you freaking retarded? Oh, excuse me. I should have said that, you guys. I'm sorry. Are you nuts? Okay. This isn't nothing like that. Mark isn't even involved in me hanging out with Lisa half the time on the phone and all that. He's doing the news channel. He's involved in our lives to a certain aspect to check on us, to make sure we're doing okay, to make sure I'm doing okay during this time. But it's a news channel, you guys. It morphed into this huge thing to now we can meet our own friends. He wants us to meet friends, like-minded people, so that we have people to fall back on. You know, it's insanity, all the lies and stuff. It was just heartbreaking and just awful to see. And it's just, I mean, if anybody knew me, I would never follow any kind of I'm a normal human being. I got my senses about me. It's silly.
Well, it's like it's the
silly.
same. You know, is George Norrie? You know, nobody compares George Norrie to Jim Jones. The thing is we are creating something nobody else is. We're creating somebody, you know, a group that actually sticks up for each other and that will be prepared in the end for whatever may happen. So I appreciate you, LCJC. Thank you for calling in and saying all that.
Thank you, Marf. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you.
All right. You have a good night. I will talk to you after the show. Thank you, Lena. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Love you all. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Christ Within, thank you for subscribing. D Powers, thank you for subscribing. Lots of new subscribers. I guess during the day shows, we have lower numbers because it's our first day show ever. I think a lot of people are going to be mad tonight that we didn't have a nighttime show. We are testing this out. But I think no matter what, we're probably going to do a couple of morning shows a week and a couple of night shows a week. Let us know in the comments below if you're watching the replay of this, which you probably won't have to since we're doing it in the morning. Or if you're watching it tonight, let us know down below if this is something that's better for all of you. I can't make everybody happy, but we can certainly try. All right, Dex, we're gonna get Mary back on, and I'm assuming I'm thinking this time it will work out.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I'm gonna check LCJC family. I'm hoping we can get her to 1,000. We have 2,200 people watching, so I hope that number can get to 1,000. I really do. I hope we can get her back on her feet with her family. I'm praying for her to be able to take over and do everything herself. Mary, you are live on Marfoogle TV. Can you hear me this time?
Hi, Adam. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And I want to say hi to all the Marfoogle family also.
Awesome. And then if I can just ask you real quick, if you could make sure to turn me down in the background on the TV.
There's no TV.
Oh, on the phone, whatever it's playing on, I can hear myself echo.
Okay, maybe it's because I've got my earpiece. Let me take that off.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay. Now, is there any way possible that I can put you on speak?
Yeah, that's fine. I thought you were going to say, can I put you on hold?
No.
Ding, ding,
Definitely not.
ding, 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 ding. I'll be right back, Marv. Somebody's at the door.
I've got a lot to tell you.
Okay.
I've been studying the eclipse since August the 21st, 2017. Okay, now we're going to have another one April the 8th, 2024. And so I got curious and I started studying all the states and the names and all that and their meanings. And then I started coming up with sentences in regards to that. And when I did, it was just fascinating because it was telling me what was going to happen. Now, Mr. MBB333 has been talking about earthquakes, and I believe Mr. Duchesne, he's got another website regarding earthquakes. But the other one is about the weather and the skies. But there's something having to do with Oregon. The meaning came out as there's going to be a storm, a hurricane in Oregon and close to Mount St. Helens. If Mount St. Helens blows and there's a Cascadian thing that happens, that means that there's going to be a hurricane, and on top of that, Mount St. Helens is going to blow, and it's going to trigger Wyoming. What is it called? The Big Cauldron in Yellowstone.
So keep going.
Okay, so I've got a long list of things. So Oregon is named a river storm hurricane. I'm so sorry, I'm kind of scatterbrained right now.
Oh, don't worry. No, and by the way, I believe I kind of know what you're talking about, so I'm glad you're talking about this kind of stuff. There's all sorts of things that kind of pull into this, so keep going.
All right. Okay. So when I did the names, and there is a line that the eclipse went through, and then in the line there were 7 or 6 Salem. That means Jerusalem. And then it went through Idaho, which means it's going to be Gems of the Mountain. It went through Montana, Mountain. It went through Wyoming at the Big River Flat, and Nebraska, flat water. This is also explaining what's going to be happening in the future. So again, Oregon was going to be a storm hurricane. Idaho was going to be the Gem of the Mountains. That's all that's going to be left. Montana's going to be some mountains. In Wyoming, there's going to be a big river flat. Nebraska is only going to be flat water at the time that it happens. Kansas, they're going to be called the people of the South Wind. Iowa, there's going to be river water only. Missouri, they're going to be canoe people because there's going to be a lot of water. And Illinois, they're going to be tribes of superior men. Now, in Kentucky, it's going to be dark and bloody ground. And it's going to be called the Land of Tomorrow in Kentucky. L-O-T, like Lot, like Sodom and Gomorrah. And I've got some more to tell you. Because in the year 763 BC, Noah encountered the same thing. There's going to be a total X. In 2017, it went from Oregon off to South Carolina. And in 2024, it's going to go from Mexico all the way up to New York. The middle of the X is exactly like the Burr-Segal eclipse that happened in 763 BC when Sodom and Gomorrah got struck. And there's a name that I don't want to mention on the air, but that is I don't even want to say it. So anyway, Sodom and Gomorrah hit at 763 BC. Noah was preaching; he was a prophet, and also he was prophesying repentance for the people to repent, and they weren't repenting until this eclipse happened. They were superstitious. The same eclipse is going to happen over here, 2017 and 2024. The middle of the X in the United States is called Carbondale, Illinois. Carbondale, we are made out of carbon. And then Illinois, we're ill. That's where the flesh is going to be ill. And in that little town, they have a little newspaper or a thing called Little Egypt. They also have a street called 666. They also have a street called Locust. Okay? Now, I'm going to change the subject here real quick. There is it's called Deagel or Deagel, DEAGEL.com, population 2025. They say right now we have 329 million. Well, it's going to be maybe 99 million people left. So I'm thinking because this is happening on 2017 and then 2024, something tragic is going to happen to the United States. And I believe is that California is going to go down in the ocean. It's going to trigger Mount St. Helens. is going to trigger the Yellowstone, the big cauldron, and I've also had dreams of where I'm at right now. I used to live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm no longer there because of all the things that I've been witnessing. I'm in Alabama now. But there's so much stuff that I'm encountering, and I'm halfway on my study. I still have to do the study before 2024 because from Mexico to New York, there's some more things coming up. And this is nothing to be fearful of, because if we die and we're in the Lord and we've repented, we're fine. But if we're not, then that's what we have to find out. But I hope that I'm still here to help others at the time that it happens. So, and they said that the safest place is going to be on the 33rd latitude. And then I'm changing the subject again. Now, I hope it don't sound too weird, but in Salt Lake, I saw many gray aliens, and they're demons. A lot of people say, oh, no, they're just aliens. Oh, they just fly in their little flying saucers. No, they're demons. And they are there to try to take your soul. I've seen shapeshifters, people that are like normal like us, but then if you're in the spiritual realm, which I really try to be in that realm, I can see them changing. And I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not a crazy person. I'm a normal person. But I read the Word of God, and I can see some things that normal people just don't see. And the Lord gave me this, and I asked the Lord this morning, I said, hey, Lord, I really need to let people know about this. If somebody can help me find the other piece of the puzzle on 2024, I would appreciate it. But there's much, much to learn. So, and then Kool-Aid is talking a lot about the solar eclipse, not the solar eclipse, but the EMPs, that they're coming. That's why the sun is having all that. The sun is really gonna destroy us in a sense. But anyway, are you still there?
Yeah, no, I was listening intently.
There is so much information that I'm so sorry. I don't want to sound like.
Well, we did go over time, but I wanted you to get all of it out and you covered a lot of things there. But as far as, so what you're essentially saying is, besides the last stuff that you touched on, which was just your kind of theory on the aliens, but the kind of the new Navy map theory, right? That most of the country is going to be covered after the big quake.
It is, and the reason why the grays and the shapeshifters and all those are coming around is because they know it's short. The time is short, and if they can take people to hell, they will. And believe me, I have seen them. I mean, I was in my house and one came in, and I was down. I came from upstairs to downstairs. I said, "What the heck are you doing in my house? Get out of here!" And it was scared of me because he could see that I could see him, and since then I didn't have any problems. But they're demons, and a lot of people think, oh, they're just aliens. They're going to come in and save us. No, we are their food. We are their food. But back to this other stuff. That's more important, because if I'm going to say, if people can get away from Yellowstone and California, run, get away from there, please. I've been warning many people for a long time, but they look at me like I'm a crazy lady. I'm not. Well, and I know the Lord helps me. And I'm in Alabama.
I don't feel like you're crazy. I would say, as far as the earthquake thing, if you're talking about the other situations there, as far as the earthquake thing, though, I don't so much know what the Illinois and names like that kind of play into it. I would have to look into that. But as far as like when you are telling people, if you really do want to help people kind of get away from that, I would maybe leave the names things out of them and really tell them the facts about, you know, the whole earthquake things that are being said. Sometimes if you're talking to a normie or to somebody who's asleep, just talk about the earthquake stuff. If you are actually concerned about them living where they're living, or if you have family that you want to be safe.
Even my family thinks I'm crazy, so I don't care. I mean, it doesn't bother me if everybody thinks I'm crazy. I know I'm not, because I know that I study things, and I know it's telling me, okay, this is what's going to happen here. And it's not fear mongering. He's just telling me, okay, this is what's going to happen here. This is where I want you to be.
I don't think you're crazy.
And I did this, but I did this in 2017, and I've been watching, and then I saw the Diego, DEAGEL.com, and it says that we're going to be, the population is going to be less, okay? And I go, okay, so that means that, and so anybody that's close to the water needs to get away from the water. 500 miles in, you're safe. And I've even, and Mississippi is going to be so wide, it's going to be at least 500 miles wide. And Illinois is the middle of where that eclipse is going to happen. And the strange thing is, it has a little street called 666. It has a street called Locust. It has, so it's the neatest study that I've done. But I know that if I could just encourage somebody to get away from certain areas, that'd be great. But people have to live somewhere.
Well, Mary,
and we can't say, well, run.
Mary, we went way over time, but I did want to talk to you again. So please call in again, okay? That was your first time call. I hope it's not your last. I usually give people a lot.
Oh, no,
I usually give people a little bit more time on their first time call too, so you get your kind of who you are out there to the rest of the Foogle fam. You're kind of introducing yourself to everybody. There's a lot of people that agree with you, and a lot of people that that don't think you're crazy. So you are family here, okay? This is the family that doesn't give you crap for what you believe in, okay? Everybody has an opinion here, and they're all valued. Okay, but we do need to get on to the next caller. Otherwise, I will drop somebody.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Mary.
Bye.
That was Mary. I forgot what state. Mary, I hope you do, by the way, I hope you get into the Alabama group. There's a great Alabama group. Those people are so awesome. Make sure to hop in there. Up next is Steve from Southern Idaho. Steve from Southern Idaho. Steve, you are live on Marfoogle TV. I wanted to talk about eclipses and what's coming spiritually. Whoa, what's up with that?
What's up, Marv? Hey, I'm just going to let you know right now, I get a little into this, so I might get loud. But, yeah, it's Steve from Southern Idaho. I called you months ago, and we talked about the Tax Act and whatnot. Well,
I remember.
So we did we celebrated the Festival of Sukkot this last week, and in our area, we got a lot of family, a lot of friends together, and some of the things that my friend Terry shared with me, I thought were really, really significant, and I'm seeing it firsthand, right? Say we consider ourselves to believe that Scripture is wholeheartedly the Word of God and the truth. What has been prophesied, we have seen many, many prophecies already fulfilled, but there are still yet some that are to be fulfilled, like that haven't happened yet. So if we just continue on that premise, okay, we know what's coming. And how that ties in with these eclipses, I don't like to set dates. I don't know the future. I'm not prophetic. I'm not trying to claim to be, but we know that God works in cycles of 7. Hence, we rest on the 7th day, the Sabbath. You read through Scripture, and he talks about the Shemitah year, or the Sabbath year that he instituted for that country, that little country over there. That he wrote it to, and there's just a significance behind the cycles of 7, and I think it's really, really crazy that we have these great American eclipses that create an X over our country, where we've only been around a couple hundred years. We haven't, this country wasn't around, at least as far as we know it to be, when these words were being written down by prophets of God. And how weird that they're 7 years apart, right? And it creates an X. I don't know anything about that, but I think it's really important to look closely at that. But one of the things that a really good friend of mine had said Sorry, I'm at work. I'm a little winded. I was trying to wrap up all the noisy stuff before we got on the phone, so I didn't have to do that while we were talking.
No, that's all right. Thanks for calling us.
Yeah, I called so early. I've been on the phone for like 2 hours waiting. But no, she had told me, she goes, we're living in a time now where the still small voice, that gentle spirit, that spirit of God that knocks quietly at the door. She said something to the effect of, we probably shouldn't expect that he'll continue to knock quietly, like he's going to not necessarily force his way in. Don't take it the wrong way, but he's coming and he's going to make his presence known. We're going to have to pick a side. We're going to be on one side or the other. And his will is that none of us shall perish. But at the same time, we live in a very, very distracting world. And I think that with the things that you do, you're on the right track. You're really opening up the door for people to come into this kind of niche and not see it as, oh, these people are just wackos or anything. You give people the opportunity to call in and share their objections or their agreements. You open up the door in a way that allows people to see that, hey, this is just stuff that's being reported on. You know what I mean? Plus, even though I know that you try to stand off on the sidelines and not necessarily push what your beliefs are on anybody, you still recognize that is a significant factor in what we're seeing. I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but
no, you're not. The thing is, let me just interject real quick.
Go ahead.
I think that one of my things that when I first started is I didn't want to interject opinion. So when you see Fox or CNN, what do you end up seeing? You see they cover the same story. So they cover the same stories we cover,
Yep.
right? People give me crap for covering the mainstream. Yep. But what about covering a news story and then shutting your mouth instead of covering the news story and then directing people to how they should think about it? Do you see that happen on the news?
Yeah.
They tell you, oh, this is what happened. They found a document. Obviously, T-Man, the president, is doing this, doing that, and blah, blah, blah. Or this reporter should go to jail and blah, blah, blah. They're interjecting their opinion. Yep. So it's not just news. It's an opinion piece. It's an op-ed, and they're telling you what to think. And this is what the United States, America, is doing now. They're listening to people's, opinions. We should be forming our own. So, just wanted to add
Absolutely. That requires critical thought. And the way that we're being bred as a child is to avoid critical thinking, to just read a book and with the instructions on how to get something done rather than being creative in our own way to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's extremely bred into us at a young age that, hey, you don't have to worry about figuring out how to get to the end. We're going to show you. Here's what you do. Here's how you problem solve. But yeah, that's exactly true. There is a lot of bias. There is a lot of opinion involved in that rather than just bring you the facts and let you decide. But yeah, no, I did want to say that, in regards to the whole, Sukkot really opened my eyes. Getting back to the Feast of the Lord really been opening my eyes, especially the timing, the way, everything like that. When Jesus came the first time, he fulfilled the spring feast days, correct? So when he comes again, he will be fulfilling the fall feast days. In fact, in Genesis, when he's talking about the creation story, and he says, I created the sun and the moon, the stars, for signs and seasons. That word seasons is actually moedim. It's not seasons like summer, winter, spring, fall. It is my appointed time, so that they would know when to start the festival, when to start the celebration. Not only that, but they would know when he will return, when he shall return, when he's going to come the first time and the second time. It says that no man knows the day or the hour, but if you continue to read, it says, those who live in darkness shall not. But you, brothers, you and I, we are not sons of the darkness. We are sons of the light. That is because we shall know the day or the time in the season. And the reason he says we don't know the day or the hour is because of the Festival of Trumpets, which always lands on a different day every year because it's based on when the new moon shows its first sign of light. And that's when they set the signal fires and they say, blow the trumpets. The festival of trumpets has started, but it's not always the same. You can't predict it 5 years in advance. Oh, this day will be the Feast of Trumpets. But I'm going to tell you what, that is that time set aside, that Moedim, that appointed time for which he shall return the second time. We still don't know when. We still can't say, oh, it'll be this year, that year, next year, this year. But we do know that he set aside his creations, cries out to his existence, and it cries out for his return. But some really, really good information on this, because I know I only have a limited amount of time and I can't really, I don't try to sound like I'm more learned than I am, but we know that God works in seasons. We know he works in cycles. We know he works in numbers. And a really, really good person to go get some more information on this is Rabbi Jonathan Cahn. Has some really good pieces
Is this a YouTuber?
He does have I think he's got a YouTube channel, but you can find his videos on YouTube. That's where I usually find the videos I watch of him, like the Oracle, the mystery of the Shemitah. That thing's crazy, talking about the economic collapses and times of judgment, where if we're in a country that's being obedient to God, that Shemitah year brings blessings. But if we're not, if we're in rebellion, that Shemitah year brings judgment. And the next cycle of the Shemitah, one happened on 2000, 2001. What happened then? 2007, 2008. What happened then? We had these huge economic collapses. Our next cycle is set up to occur. Well,
I've kind of covered a couple of things because there's so many different types of people here that watch the show. There's everything from straight up straight up atheists to straight up super Christians to straight up there's actually I at least saw 16 different religions when everybody did the poll on Twitter. So I was just really blessed to feel like there was all these different people that were getting along and getting together. Well, Steve, I've got to get Lori on right behind you. I appreciate your call. Cool. I want you to call in again.
Yeah.
We will actually be talking. I do want to talk about the Shemitah cycle and things like that. There was a couple of people that reached out that are actually kind of famous when it comes to that. It wasn't Jonathan Cahn, but I did show Jonathan Cahn's website. If they want to reach out and see that side of it, I suggest that
great idea.
People all form their own opinions and go look for themselves. And so thank you so much for your call, and please call in again. I always love your call. Last time we talked about the tap sack. I remember that call.
Yeah.
So thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, real quick, shout out to Dex and you. You guys are awesome. My coworker Cord's listening right now. He wanted to be here, but he had to run and go pick up some parts. So, and and I know Deborah's watching. So I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Corey, what's up, man?
We
appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a great night. God bless. No, there was some things that I heard about that the what I read, it was like scary how it matched up to different timelines. But I think that people don't realize that just in a lot of the different things out there from the past, I just don't believe people believe until they see it for themselves. But all it really takes is some research and time. There's so much out there distracting people that they don't actually see the truth, but they're also not looking in the right place. If you clearly look, if you look at something that's 200 years old and it tells you what happened yesterday, that's scary. Let's see. Lori, you are live on Marfoogle TV.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm absolutely good. I need to turn you up a little bit. So Lori, let me pull up your card real quick. It says that, you are another first-time caller out of Tennessee talking about the underground tunnels. I have not covered those in a while. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's why I originally called in. I was watching another YouTuber, and they have a special guy on there, and he listed all of the subterranes that are around. And if you bring up that Navy map you have on there, I think it would be really interesting because he gives some longitude, latitudes on that YouTube channel as well. And I bet you if you match those up to that map, you'd find something very interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up the Navy map, and then I got the Palantir Technologies. I got a Wikipedia on that. You can explain that in a second. But so on the Navy map, what did you want me to point out?
Well, let's see here. He's got, you know of China Lake, right? Where the earthquake hit in California earlier?
Yes.
Those tunnels under there was child trafficking, and I think they released like 2,500 children from there. And then they collapsed those tunnels.
Okay, so where else was this said? Somebody said this as well, 2,500 specifically. Who covered this? Was it?
Gosh, I saw it on Twitter.
I feel like Dex.
I'm not sure.
Dex, are you there? You can't hear Dex, but Dex can hear both of us. Dex, do you remember? Was this on something that we? I feel like I should know where this story came from. I've seen it. I don't think.
Adam, can you remind me the story, because I was on a phone call, but I can help.
That's all right. 2,500 children were saved from something, or came out of a tunnel, or something like this.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of stories around that. One was in California, and actually both of them I thought were California.
Okay. All right. So
that's what I recall.
Okay. So Lori, I feel like I was going to cover this or something. What is 2,500 in California? So you're saying that this is related to China Lake, or could be, or possibly?
Oh yeah. There's a whole bunch of them around. There's one called Brooks Range, Delta Junction, Fort. This is in Arizona. Fort. I don't know how to say it. Hachakua. That's not it. Helendale is another one. Mount Shasta up in California. The underground tunnels there are 800 miles deep.
No, and I've talked about Doe'S, so I don't know how long you've watched and anybody else. So I just wanted to let you know. So somebody reached out to me a while back, and I confirmed his story personally. This gentleman was ex-military, spent a good amount of years, like high up. Do you remember? Did you watch my show when I talked about the gentleman who was a truck driver in the DUMB system, the deep underground military base system? He said that out of the 48 landlocked states, 46 of them are connected by tunnel. And how the system works is they go in, say he goes into one of the main entrances. Not every state has an entrance, but every state has an exit. It's pretty strange how the way he said it. He said that you take all of your cell phone, they check you for devices, you put your cell phone into a lockbox that goes onto the back of your truck. That lockbox is then magnetically connected to the back of the box. There is a camera that is placed on the corner, and it makes sure that nobody touches that phone, nobody touches that device. You can drive for days on end in this tunnel. There's underground businesses down there. There's even military that there's like a Starbucks, which is their brand Starbucks, but it's military baristas that go out every 6 hours. So they actually work down there. They do that kind of stuff. There's a little grocery store. This is all for truck drivers they are all ex-military. They all get paid extremely well. And I'm talking about into the $500,000 a year range for this specific job. So they have to be vetted completely, whatever. The guy ended up moving to New Zealand, which scared everybody back then. This is a real dude. He showed me his house. He lived in a very opulent house. And this guy, I'm thinking, this is a truck driver? But it was a very special truck driver. So I really wanted to bring that back up because he told me how the system worked. He showed me maps. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. And it's not, I don't know why people don't believe that. Every other country we know about from our, we declassify everybody else's. Moscow has underground systems. NK has underground systems. Of course we have underground systems. So
you go under the ocean as well.
Yes, and now we have proof of that. Dubai and all these other countries that are doing stuff, they show us we have the technology to do it. Of course we have it. We're not told about it.
Right. Yeah, and the whole magnetic thing too has to deal with the train that's down there. Yeah. That can go 1,700 miles an hour.
She's talking about a magnetic levitation train, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I don't know if it's. Well, I don't know. They could have one that goes 5,000 miles for all we know. But as far as the ones that are public, basically they want to do one of those sealed tunnels, so you would basically get to your destination in no time, go across the country in nothing. So I wonder if they'll eventually say that they're drilling it and then just open it all of a sudden and say, well, we've been working on this for years or what. But there are deep underground military bases, and if people don't know about that, it just takes a little bit of research and you can find out there's an entire transport system. That's how, when you see stuff transporting above ground, that's one thing. But the really scary stuff, that's transported underground. And it's quite disturbing when you find out how big it is. I mean, talking 46 out of 48 states. Pretty nuts.
Can I suggest that you watch another YouTube?
Yeah, what is it?
Can I say the name? It's Blessed to Teach 2, or Blessed to Teach. That's what it is, and it's the number 2. And the date of the one where he's talking about the tunnels is 10/23.
Okay, so it was yesterday's show.
Yeah.
DUMBs, the Cabal's Dumbs. Okay, I pulled it up for people to see.
Yep. Now that's what the because some of it has been taken over by white hats and some hasn't yet, but they're flushing them out. And they were saying on that show that part of the where we saw in California where the fire was coming out of the manholes from underground is that they have to burn these evil people because they drink blood and eat human flesh. They have this thing called kuru, which is the disease you get from that. That's why Hillary shakes and why that woman from Germany, where she was shaking so bad, Angela Merkel. They're saying that it's contagious. Kuru is contagious, and they have to burn the bodies immediately. I don't know about that, but that's just what they said.
Well, no, I could see that happening. And then also another thing that I don't think people realize is real is the drinking of the blood, the adrenochrome stuff. The more you look into that, the more you realize that this is all just horribly real stuff, and it's even available on. I mean, it's a drug basically. It's a high, and anything that can be turned into a drug will be sold on the black market. So,
like Uranium 1.
I guess I didn't know about that. Maybe you mix the adrenochrome with the uranium, and you get some sort of awesome drink. Well, thank you for.
See, now that's why they.
Go ahead.
I was going to say real quick, the uranium in powder form is different than the uranium they use for the bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So I don't know why he needs it.
Look up Palantir. That's some scary shit. That computer system has everything on everybody in the world. They can predict what you'll do before you know what you're going to do, because they've been monitoring your choices since you were a baby. What baby food your mom's, fed you, what schools you went to, what curriculum they taught you, what friends you have, and then whether it just goes on and on and on. And they're into the medical system, they're into the banking system, they know all of that stuff. It's just super scary. There's another YouTube on that too. That thing is, I don't know. I heard that it was flipped and it's used for good now, but I don't think anybody should have that kind of power.
No, I agree with you. Well, thank you, Lori, for calling in, and please call in again. You are another first-time caller, so please call in anytime, okay?
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you have one as well. Let's see. On deck, we have the, I believe, Ann of the Ann Lynn Show. What an awesome, awesome time. All right, let's see here. Ann from the Ann Lynn Show, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hello, Mr. Adam. How are you today?
Absolutely fantastic. What's going on?
Oh, I'm so glad to see you in the daytime. This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hey, just wanted to piggyback on what you were talking about earlier in the show about, we're talking about icky things and dirty things and, our local newspaper, and we live in a county, I'm going to say of about 10,000 people, and it's actually a pretty large county. We're in the Midwest. Has about three towns in it and some little burgs. But our little newspaper did a write-up on, be sure to always use those wet wipes that are like in Walmart and your local grocery stores usually have them, and wipe your cart handles off, because in our county the drug epidemic is so strong that people have actually gotten sick from touching the cart handles. There's drug residue left on the cart handles.
Wow.
So it's kind of, yeah. So they were highly suggesting that if you see those wet wipes available, to use them, and don't touch those shopping cart handles with your bare hands. Unfortunately, it's and we're talking about the kiosks you were talking about earlier with Dex at the Golden Arches place. But you think about any place, right? That, and I got to thinking, well, even a little further, we go in the grocery store and all the cans and the things that we pick up, a human put that there, And so you really are kind of going on blindly, not knowing what somebody, when they stock the shelves, right? Or any place that we go. So I know you said you carry the antibacterial cream with you all the time. I think that's a good idea. Or, wet wipes of some kind.
It's to the point where it's bad. My hands dry out. I have to use Cetaphil. I have to use Cetaphil on my hands because I use so much of that sanitizer. But I have a newborn baby, and I'm really worried about with my 4-year-old. She had so many flus where it was so scary, and we had to go to Children's Hospital. And she had fevers of 105 and 104.
Oh,
and
my.
Yeah, I mean, it was like we thought we lost her. So now I'm just overly super paranoid about it, and it's just one of the scariest things ever. Most of you guys have seen my kids. It's just really scary.
Well, and yes, I would say absolutely. And unfortunately, we're just kind of going on blind faith pretty much wherever we go. In a shopping mall or a store or, anywhere that you go, you really don't know. So, just kind of be aware of your shopping carts, people, because, and we are a county seat. And so our jail is here in town. And so, they still do the shaming you, put you in the newspaper. And then you're on the local Facebook page, town page too, with your picture and telling what you did, So we have, we're kind of a small country town, but unfortunately the drugs are really rampant in our city. And I actually was really shocked because I didn't really realize it. until it was a few months ago when this article came out. But be aware of those shopping carts. Carry some kind of a wet wipe or sanitizer with you. And then the other thing I just wanted to say that I just hope that people out there that know and love our Snafu Snaps will send him a prayer. He's got some health issues, we know, and so he's in the hospital. And we put a get well card in the mail to him. His address is there on his channel, and I just would let's just flood him with get well cards and just send him your prayers and love, because he's part of our Foogle Fam, as all of our members are. We're a big family made up of a lot of members, a lot of different.
A lot of different members. And I also want to say, so everybody was in this drama, and we don't have to get into the details of it, but he did get down in the trenches and was saying some bad things. And you know what? He stepped up like a man. He not only apologized, but he also took down some of the negative stuff. He was right in a lot of the things he said. But then again, when he did make mistakes, he owned up to it. Whereas, there's just, we have to try to not, when you fight fire with positivity, it works. And that he always had good intentions, and he is a good person in heart, and all of us are, and we all make mistakes. I've made mistakes.
Absolutely.
You've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes.
Absolutely.
But we're done making, at least one mistake, which is negativity. We're all done with that. Anybody who's not done with that needs to be done with that. So just get over it,
just
everybody.
Move on.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But, Lynn and I are prayer-believing people, and, we've done a few live streams now, and we've asked, if there's anybody that needed a prayer or had a prayer request, just to, let us know, because prayer does work, and shoot, you have nothing to lose, right?
Absolutely.
You have nothing to lose. So, if anybody has a prayer request, go over and hit me up on Discord. I'm in Discord. Ann Lynn shows there, and just leave a prayer request, and we are happy to pray for anybody. If there's a need in the body, if we need to, send get well cards or encouragement cards to somebody, let us know, because we care about, we care. We love you, everybody in the Foogle Fam, and we care, and we just hope we bring a little entertainment. We're a little different. We have a new character that's joined our family, our Mama. So I hope they've seen our video on Mama. She's a permanent fixture, I think, going forward.
That's awesome. But, I love it. Which, by the way,
we love the Foogle Fam.
Ann and Lynn of the Ann Lynn Show, they started a channel because of this whole series. Because I told people to start channels. I've always told people, get out there and do it. And some people, including you, I think just needed to be told, hey, people want to hear you.
Do it.
So you guys started it. You guys have done a lot more work than people, honestly, half of your age, and you are doing more work and more videography than people in their 20s. Some of the people that should be technologically advanced are, kind of ghetto video. You guys are editing. You guys are doing all sorts of stuff with your videos. I love it. I watch every one of them, especially your tour videos and all that. I'm really proud of you guys for putting so much effort. You guys have a studio where you're recording music for your videos. Like, that's awesome. That's amazing. And tell Lynn the same thing. I wanted to just mention that.
I will. Well, thank you so much. I tell you, it has been like my second act, because after working for over 30 years and in the public and different things, and then retired, and so it's like I needed a purpose. I needed something to do, and because and then I found you. And the rest is history. And so I'm learning something new every day. I do all the editing and the background stuff and all that. And so for me, it's just, I love it. I like being in front, but I love doing that. And then, I've been fortunate because I've had some songs drop into me, and we've done a few songs, and I got more in the works too that someday will come out. But anyhow, we love you, Adam. I won't take any more time. Welcome to the daytime. This is excellent for an old grandma. This is wonderful. So, God bless you and the Foogle family, and we love all of you. There's too many of you to name, but we love all of you, Foogle Fam, the Foogle Fam. So many good members, good members.
Well, you have a wonderful night, and bless you. And seriously, you guys, I love you guys. So keep making and keep creating.
We love you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right.
I hope you guys keep creating your videos. I'm telling you, these guys put more effort into it than most of the other people, even some of the younger people that are doing this, and they're really putting effort into it. So you guys, if you haven't subscribed, also, we have helped dang near 200 channels get to 1,000 subscribers since I started a year and a half ago. I don't think there's another channel, even bigger channels, that have done that, not intentionally. So, which, by the way, most of those channels that got to 1,000 started because of this channel. So, you guys know me. I'm not trying to brag about that. I'm saying I have pushed that since day one. My actions speak louder than words. I have helped more channels than hurt. I have never put negative videos out about anyone. I think people are starting to understand that this, with all the people that are meeting, there's a force against us. And it almost made me think back to the beginning. Now we're finally starting to realize people might have been trying to infiltrate my show and this idea since the very beginning. People saw it. When I was a little channel, 400, 500, 600, 700 people were watching live. That's crazy. I wasn't even at 30,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. And a huge amount of people were watching me live. The thing is even if it's 2,200, 22,000 people, you don't see that on YouTube unless it's some gigantic channel. So this has only been around a year. Just wait. I'm telling you guys, we're all going to go together and we're going to make something amazing with this. So please grab friends, grab family, tell them about this, because it's not just the news. It's more than that. Like, we're making a difference, and it only can be done with you guys. All right. We've got Cosmo. I don't recognize the name. Is this a first-time call?
It is.
Well, Cosmo, let's see what you're talking about. So now you've got, in your card here, it says, first-time caller talking about human trafficking and UFO disclosure and the space race, calling from Michigan. What's up with that, Cosmo?
Well, in the beginning of the show, we were discussing the refrigeration unit, and I decided to put everyone down for the night and permanently. It seems to be a growing trend with a lot of the different news topics that we've been having over the past couple of years. I would say more specifically since T-Man made January of 2018 the awareness month for human trafficking and child slavery. It just seems that that momentum of news topic has really kind of just like released out of the floodgates since then. Correspondingly, though, I just wanted to get the initial, hey, how you doing? I started listening back in the winter of 2018, right before you guys were given the warning about the potential blackout that was potentially going to go on. And what brought me over to your channel, I've been researching stuff for a really long time and kind of connecting dots for a lot of other people that are just starting to get their feet wet in the topics. But what brought me over to your channel was a dream that I had, a really, really, really glove-wearing lucid one, and where I woke up and wasn't exactly convinced that it wasn't real. So going through the morning with a cup of coffee, I found your guys' show talking about exactly what my dream was about. So okay, let's figure this out. And these kinds of patterns I've noticed happen to very many people that I find myself around, as well as other people that are talking about some of the different interconnected pathways we've all been sharing, not just through the internet, but through opinion, thought process, and even dreams. I'm personally under the influence that the quiet push for the 5G to be going as quickly as it can is really to accelerate how much information can be delivered as possible in a short amount of time. I mean, that's kind of an obvious just with the data requirements because of all the technology that we have, but I also believe that it translates on a more organic level than most of us are initially made aware of, and that is reflective inside of our subconscious minds. We have brains, organs that are continually taking information and processing it and storing it away in a manner that will literally paint the cognitive relations you have for the data your brain is receiving, aka painting the world around you. And as we continually have to filter through what information is important, what information is not important, we're then later sometimes confronted with what, I mean, in the best of my research, I'm a doctor, I've taught myself basically everything that I've ever known, I've ever gone to college. But from the best of what I can understand is that our dreams are essentially like a biochemical subconscious data exchange from our subconscious minds to our conscious minds, a status report, if you will. Sir, this is what we've got on how you feel about all those posts you've been looking at over the past few months. And it seems Sarah isn't the friendliest of people to hang out with. But that was a weird dream, regardless. So the idea behind the Wi-Fi push happening so quickly with the 5G, because we are electric beings and expressions, we have the electricity suspending our cellular activity. The process we know as thoughts or thinking are, according to science and biomedical health studies, electrochemical synapses happening in between neurons. And that itself is another form of bioelectrical activity happening in between the cellular interface.
Let me ask you this. So, you know, with the 5G thing.
I'm sorry, you're cutting in and out a little bit.
So, okay, I don't know how well you can hear me here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I was on the wrong side of the mic. I also, by the way, the big mic's not the phone; it's this little one. So, okay. Question for you that's talking about Wi-Fi and the 5G thing. Somebody said to me, and this was somebody who is ex-military and saw some stuff. It hasn't even been in the military for 15 years. Saw some stuff that basically was a description of what 5G was. It was a connection and Internet of Things. Of course, 15 years ago, the Internet was in its infancy, or at least it's not the same Internet we had today. But what they said is there was a plan for something that, and this is crazy. I don't even believe this, but the person I'm talking to, I'm looking right at him. This is somebody I've talked to before. He wasn't necessarily high ranking. He was just kind of, like lower ranking, right? He said he saw stuff that said that they were planning this system like 5G, described what 5G was, that could basically flip a switch and population control was done. Now, if you knew this gentleman, you would think this is nuts. Because this guy is not somebody who makes stuff up, would not lie if it would gain him $1 million. Said that essentially the paperwork he saw was that they were planning a system that could trigger some sort of physical reaction, either control people or control population, like, boom, 1 million people dead with one press of the button. What do you think of that? Do you think that that's just totally nutto?
No, actually, that's actually exactly on point with what exactly I'm talking about. That it essentially would be a form of mind control, right? And the fact that we would be putting out micromillimeter wavelengths from all of our modems, from all of our telecommunicational devices that we're using, our own electronic components, even if it's like a PlayStation or a desktop computer or just a TV, all of these different frequencies are putting out all these different devices are putting out frequencies on the electromagnetic spectrum, a spectrum that we do now know more commonly and openly medically that the human organism is capable of not only detecting, but potentially even interfacing with, and that's a lot of the quantum mechanical studies that have come with.
Just to let you know,
the mathematicians that have been talking with the monks and stuff in the mountains. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Judy Hanks said in the chat, 5G can fry ovaries. Think about that.
Oh yeah.
That's
I trust that there's there's dark jokes in the family about standing next to the microwave when you're done having kids. But so the idea that I'm trying to get completely out all the way is that with the implementation of something that is literally putting out a higher amount of like latent frequency for your subconscious mind to detect and interpret, is kind of like laying a footpath, right? If you show somebody a continual rate of speed, they're going to visually learn how to slow it down in order to make more sense out of the information that they're processing. It's an adaptive nature that the human physiology is completely wired to do. And simply by overexposure, you're going to naturally end up with people or organisms that are just capable of handling and processing a lot higher amounts of data at a much more exponentially multiplied rate than what your standard models would go to. I think it's where a lot of the reclassification for autism and ADD is coming from. I think it's why everybody's saying that, you know, it's like the driving has just become an insane practice to do every day because we can't use turn signals and people don't have patience for the mechanical actions of a car to actually change over at a rate of speed that would reflect a safe driving pattern. And I believe that a lot of this is just a continual overexposure to the electromagnetic spectrum that our technological demands are now naturally allowing for the implementation of an upgrade to. At the same time, we are also these organic machines that have the capacity of being able to interpret fields and spectra that we're not completely open to admitting yet. Okay, back more to what I wrote down. I'm sorry. Am I over time?
You're way over time, but that's okay. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Finish your notes.
First
time callers always get a good chunk. So just finish what your notes say.
I really appreciate it. So I do believe that with the implementation of a system like this, in order to be able to guide as large of a group as possible in one solid direction, we would need an event or something to take place that would put all these people on a common page. And I believe that's what the September emergency phone number event was all about. I was 9 years old when I watched it on the TV, and I've just been absolutely on this sense. It's part of the reason why I've been viewed as a little impatient with these topics.
Wait a second. You were 9 years old. Are you talking about 2001?
Yeah.
How old are you? Gosh, you sound a lot older than you are then.
I'm 29, I'll be honest.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm 33, so I'm not that much older. I was in 9th grade, so I was, I guess, 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The Solomon Center was the one thing that stood out the most, and that's never made sense, but it was always the least talked about of the entire event. So this whole thing has just been, you know, painting itself as a reason to start thinking about the other things for me as the time has gone on. But with that event, it's now like literally an active memory inside of. There's a theory that a couple of people are not entertaining a whole lot, but the few that are really going to the wind with it. It's referred to as the human hive mind. And I believe it's literally the birthing of our higher evolved senses of self, right? Like the lessons and the teachings that ancient meditative practices and mystery schools that would have been held to the esoteric religions of old, of all cultures across all human history, would have known how to tap into some of the more fanciful realms of what humans are actually capable of, at least in the realm of interfacing with this electromagnetic spectra that we have around us on a continual basis. The idea that there are other things that might be living there trying to interface with us, that there might be things trying to take advantage of us there. You know, I believe that's where the entire spiritual hierarchy comes into a literal definition. And the idea that it's been so completely fantasized over the time is, I feel, one of the largest proponents to disarming us and being able to actually fend off a real implemented electromagnetic control factor that none of us are going to have any other choice but to worship as some sort of new AI god. Boom.
I know. I was going to say, drop the mic. Just walk away. Drop the mic. Leave the reporters hanging. All right. Well, hey, Cosmo, nice talking to you.
Get that out. Oh my! It's like scratching an itch.
Yes, that was like a whole body itch. You were a bear on a tree, rolling side to side.
That's only half of my notes too.
Well, call in again, okay? By the way,
I will.
there
I will.
are
Thank
regulars on the show. They call with 2 phones, 3 phones. I've even had somebody say that they've done 2 toes tapping 2 other phones, so 4 phones, 4 limbs calling in. Go ahead and call in again, okay? I appreciate you, Cosmo.
You,
it was
Mark.
nice meeting you. I've never met you before, so I wanted to make sure to give you some extra time. I appreciate you, and
You might have.
please call in.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
You
Have
will.
a good night. Good night. What Cosmo is talking about is a lot of this stuff is just is really wild stuff that we're talking about. Okay, first off, 4G, Dex, isn't it 4G that could manipulate water? 4G waves?
Yeah, I would think any of those waves can have some sort of manipulation on water. It's the lower, the ones with the 5G though are the obviously closer to what we have in the microwave that really can superheat and melt things. But I know if you get really close, even to a 4G tower, you can have those symptoms too.
I mean, it's quite, if you're talking about 4G controlling water, we are 90. What is it? 75% water or 76% water?
Oh
right?
yeah, it's a lot.
Most of us is water.
Exactly.
We are electricity. We've got all these waves going through us. Millimeter wave is such a step up from what we are at now. And this 5G is really going to just punch us right in the face. And that's why there's so many responsible, they used to think of the conspiracy theorists as these crazy tinfoil wearing hats. These are normal people with normal careers. There's senators saying, hey, stop this. Stop putting these towers up. There's parents, there's lawyers, there's doctors, there's all sorts of people saying, do not do this. But the almighty dollar is what is ruling over all of that. And convenience. It's all of us wanting to download stuff even faster. We want to stream 8 things at once. It's these things that are really killing us. And we don't give a shit. Excuse my language. Grand D, yes, I will change the thumbnail. In fact, I thought about it afterwards. I make mistakes too. As far as the thumbnail here, no, it is not. It's not appropriate knowing I made this when I first heard about it. I thought it was I didn't know it was a human trafficking thing. Those people got in there thinking they were going to be taken across the border. I thought it was funny. No, it's not. It's not funny. The more I think about it, for sale, fits 39 plus creepy driver. I made sure to put asterisks. I try to look at things from a funny viewpoint, but again, yeah, that was not respectful of the people who have passed, and no matter who they are, they didn't deserve that. And I'm praying that they are, in a better place now. So yes, I'm gonna make one. I actually, Dex, I even told you right before the show I was gonna change it, but we didn't have time.
Yep.
So thank you, Dex.
Yeah, Adam. Hey, I have a link, but it's real easy to get to. If you can go to the show on the website and scroll down below the show topics where we put all the news links, I've added an image that was given to me by one of our Discord members, Tank. It's from the College of DePage, and it's being speculated that this is Steam, and this was actually happening when we started the show. Just before we started the show today, that this is steam rising out of some faults in California. So that image, it's an animated GIF, so make sure it's actually showing something. I know I'm delayed watching it visually, but you should be able to zoom in.
This is on our website.
Mm-hmm.
So where is the fault line that we're looking at? Right? It does. Oh.
You see those little white Steam releases that they're claiming that these are Steam releases, not.
Wait, and we're talking about to the upper right-hand corner, kind of.
Yes.
Holy crap! If that's the fault line, that is scary.
Yeah.
Okay, just to show you where exactly we're talking about. We'll play one more time here, right here. They say that's the fault line releasing pressure, and this is as we were doing the show today. Lena says Dutch talking about that too. Very scary thing. You know, by the way, I've talked to Copper Tropicals a lot, but I really want to just talk to Dutch. I know he's had a lot of similar experiences as myself. Somebody reach out to Dutch and tell him to give me a call. I'd love to interview him or whatever he would be capable of doing. I respect him a lot. A lot of people know that I've pushed Dutch's channel since I was tiny. So that's one guy that I actually want to sit off camera and talk to about some of this stuff, because I think we're headed for just a hell of a time with Cascadia. RP, love from London. Thank you guys. Thank you guys from Europe. Anybody from, all the people from Canada, Australia that watch this show. Christy H, I really appreciate the $20 super chat. You can always write something though. Write a message, write a poem, write anything. Even say hi to your mom. I don't care. I think for that you should at least get a message out or teach somebody something. Skywatcher83 donated $5. Loving the afternoon show. Thank you so much, Skywatcher. I appreciate it. We're gonna try this. The thing is everybody's, we usually have 3,000 to 4,000. We've even had 5,000 people at night. So this is actually low, which is crazy to think about. 2,200 people being a low show up. This is a weird time. Nobody knows we're on. Jamie Johnson, Jennifer Martinez, thank you. I appreciate you. Jamie, thank you for joining. T. Fisher, so unnecessary, as you know that. Thank you so much. So I really appreciate your long-time support. T. Marie 303, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. Murphy's Law says, Adam, I hope you got my package. Miss the Fam 2, been working, making life better. So if you send packages to the description down below, if you look down below this video, the screen you're seeing me on, right down below, there's an address where you can send art. Somebody sent this. This is absolutely... Okay, and by the way, a lot of people have said, oh, he puts makeup over his tattoo to cover it because it switches. They see me post a picture and it's on the other side. It's not. Everything's backwards. This is mirrored. So this is actually correct. Somebody made this. They had a company that children make. At first I was thinking, man, it sounds like a... what do you call it? It sounded like a sweatshop. I was like, but basically what happens is these kids volunteer, they do arts and crafts, they make something. This is actually an Altoids tin, which I thought was the coolest thing. They painted it. If you see it, it actually looks legit. In fact, my wife was like, oh, you got it. I'm like, no, the real one's like this big. But it was the thought that counted. I basically told my viewers that, so my main channel did hit 100,000. In fact, it's at 145,000 almost. And I didn't get one of these because I had to basically send off, then they review you, they do all this stuff, and I just didn't want to have that experience. So I didn't ask for one. I don't want a plaque. I do want a plaque. I didn't want to deal with getting it. Marfoogle TV is about to hit 100,000. I probably won't get a plaque. So I really appreciate they made this. If you want to send something, send it to that P.O. box and it will end up on the stage. In fact, Road to Prison sent this R2-D2, I don't know what it is. It's a holder of some sort. It's made out of car parts. It's freaking awesome. Literally one of my favorite things. I also have a thing that I'm going to send Jalen, an alien guy I love. I found for her. Jalen, I'm thinking of you. John 3:16, which is backwards. You probably won't see that. Painted by Retta. These guys are so cool. Like, all these are backwards, of course, which I should fix one of these days. Somebody sent me the Seahawks light. They know I'm a Seahawks fan. That is so cool. I'm trying to think. There's other stuff here. There's tons of stuff here. J-Stone sent me the photo book that's back there. I also have J-Stone pictures from J-Stone. I have all sorts of cool stuff. And then in the background, all-time favorite. You know, it sucks is I have to have this behind everything because my eye autofocus literally picks this up over me. This was from Jammer the Hammer, and I actually loved this. So if you guys have art, send it to the address. But as well, I just wanted to let you know, Murphy's Law, I did get I got a package. I get texts. It's all the way pretty far away, so I only get it like once every week or 2 weeks. But I will pick it up if it's the one that I just got notice of. So thank you, whatever you may have sent. I appreciate you. Neil Nelson. Adam, what is the name of the song you sing and play at the very end of your show? It is called Me for Me. I think. Yeah, Me for Me by Coyote with a K. And then Harriet Hudson, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Dog 68 North, thank you for subscribing. If I missed anyone, since this new OBS update, I've been missing a few people. I really don't mean to. Miss Erin Marie, the Reluctant Tutelery. Love this time slot listening from my semi today. That's awesome. Meat Puppet 007 says, Marf, love the show and time slot from a truck driver. That's 2 truck drivers. You guys are awesome. A Hobbit, thank you for subscribing. A Tiger Lover, thank you for subscribing. And Sunlight Sucker, thank you again. I appreciate all of you guys. Christine Broderick, thank you. So many new subscribers today. Seeker MW, thank you for subscribing. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. Now, Dex, is there anything else that you want to say? Because, man, this is crazy.
It's a great show, Adam. Hey, to drop that animation off your browser, because it's a high res, so everybody can see it, maybe causing a little right now. Great show, great callers, awesome time slot. It was good to hear a lot of new faces, people that I'm sure have been watching and listening for a long time, but just weren't able to call in. So applaud to you for doing this for them. And thanks, everybody. God bless.
Becky Gray and everybody else that's saying, hey, turn that damn thing off. Okay. Hey, I listen to you guys. You guys are what makes this show great. Again, if you want to send your art paintings, if you want to send a artistic painting or a funny painting, send it in. I love it. Even the people that have sent me paintings, turned on me and called me a jerk, I still keep those things because I absolutely love your guys' art. So please keep sending it in. I appreciate you guys. Much love. Now it is officially time for me to make a fool out of myself. It's not an outro, and it's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. It's where I basically say everybody's name at the end of the show. We will be right back. No, actually, we won't. Awkward. Man, oh man. I've got my Kelly 2334. I've got my Mickey Mouse operation. I've got my Trisha C and my KOKO. My His Queen 711 and my Toro Whiz. J-Stone 78. Got my 3 crazy Mexican. Got my Kimberly Clifford and the rest of my men. Got my Mama Grizzlies. Got my Sillies. Got my small stone and be the light. LOL, yeah. Soul Watcher, Jennifer Cornelison. By the way, if you love Pugs 05, then you might want to go check out MARFOOGLENews.com, where you can find every article that we covered here today. We will be not back after this commercial break. Thank you to people like A Small Stone, Stiletto, Teresa M, Jubs 84, and North Olympics. Thank you, Woodsy Mom. Without you, this wouldn't be a show. And same with you, Lexi with Dex, CJ Blaze, and of course, my favorite, Raymond Rip Curl. Hey, remember everybody, this is a live show. On your way out, make sure to leave a like. Trisha C, you are correct. Trisha C called me a nerd. Now I don't feel like doing anything. It just feels cold. I just feel hurt now. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and words super hurt my feelings. Kinda just feeling very awkward now. I did the whole show for all you guys, and then people say mean things like I'm a nerd. I always thought of a nerd as like a hard candy, but I guess I'm like a hard candy then. Just want to make sure we're clarifying I'm a hard candy. Fine with me. I guess hard candies are good in some cases, unless you have like chippable teeth or braces. I don't know, I think I like hard candy. Hey. Hey. I like them hard candies, I like you all. Robert Arias and Homegrown All. Alice J and Clan Mama. Speedway Signs, you bad mama jamma. This ain't no Mickey Mouse operation. I tell you all across the nation, they be listening to Area 55. And we let it ride. Hi. Now you ride. Now you come back with the Julie C, the Lindsay Resk, and the Elliot H. RFL and the Tina. Got the finest planets wanted a small stone and the rest of moans. Everybody coming back like a clone, like Mama Grizzly and Jenna Third. Oma and the Esparza. I got that RM Light and the Jamie Howard. Got to see it Lee. Now we ride with the Firehorse by your side. And we do everything, and we nice. With the Brenda Sefeske. The Sefeske. With the Lynn Love and Light. We don't care, cause Mike's got it in sight. That was the problem. Love that Murphy's Law. Coming at it hard like the stormy shapes. Bring it right back in the know they base. Yes, I will change that case. Doesn't really matter cause I know the fakes. Old rider with the Teresa M. Unicorn Hustler and the Attention. With the ATN and the 2012 May, what do you say with the Kim Day? A, the Blue Bear and the Mama Grizzly. Gotta give that ginger grin to the ginger grin to my chagrin. I've got that number one in the stirring time. Oh, yeah, 3, a crazy Mexican already subbed to love pugs and really doesn't give a Mr. Man in the well with the kitty on the sail in the mill, bringing back the Dusty Digger. Dusty Digger was up my Alfred Phillips and the rest of my homies. Lila, Laura, Lila, and everybody go back round them man. Cricket, Hulu, Lulu, about to be the cat Brindy. G. Try 756 right with that Kim K, with the Christy H, with the Teresa Cat, got the Murphy Lock, Dennis Price and the Rock, Shauna May and the YCMP, with the Boom Shataka, get a fight, Mickey Mouse. Recon Delta and they know the bounce. Susie on the T-Info. Got that warrior gal. Helen Dixon, thanks for sticking around. All these months and all these years now. Stephen Granger, thank you for sticking around. Nah. Mr. Man, so forsake with the Mullins and now with cake. Gotta eat it too. Skywatcher 83 and me. You, Tracy Rice, B-Cavs and the rest of the rise. All these guys be kicking it, no. You gotta hang out with Mr. D. Bo. He doesn't even know what he's doing at this point. What is he doing? Bring me right back and now you gotta go back down. That's it. I just want to mama tummy, and I just wanna put on that Mary bonnet. Hey, you smoking mountain girl, why CMP a world, got the JR horse. That's creepy. That's creepy. Stereotypical Chinese part. Don't forget, if you do want... Oh, no! Disaster! It's okay. My face fell on the ground. This one, of course. So don't worry. It's fine. This next song is dedicated to Ashley Marie. Hey, what's up? Thank you guys for coming tonight. Hey, what's up? Jenny and the rest of the crew. John and some in a rubber alliance. Thank you coming for hanging out with Alice. Hey, hey, hey. Got the Wally do, got the Wally do. Wally with the face in a Kimberly clip. JT and Lorca, you just wanna hang out with their friends. Got that Jim tax, got that Jules Mark Davis. Hey now, don't you wanna say this? Jennifer I got milk ringing by. Terry Christ, and you know you gotta bring it back. Tea and a go and Mama Christie. Got that in the way, got to side. Overbuilt automotive dance. Party according to the both sides. Got that Shirley knot. Got that Melee bag on south. Gotta hit up like you're on the spot. Licia, Policia, got to say, Savia say, got to say. Whoa. Somebody said they were late. Excuse me, surely not. Apparently we've got to start the whole damn show over, apparently. Thanks a lot, surely not. Apparently, you were on time. Surely not. I'm gonna say to Mama Tommy, oh, they look so Tommy and Stacy, gonna bring it back. Jen, I'm Mary, I gotta say it bye. Victoria Marquez. Gotta say what it says. Got that nightshade, gonna bring it right back. I'm gonna say, hey, hey, baby. Now we got that tape, Arizona, 2008, going back, it's a bummer. Amazing, got to make me. And you know what time it is? It's time for me. I said that, God, you know, we all been having a fun here now. If you never been here before, then this is the daytime. You know, we bring it right home. It's that meant for me to be. Hello, on the hit, like coming back on this side. Oh yeah, here, chop. We be kicking on that. We dig on the fight, nah. Coming back around, nah. Everybody know, nah. Got it quarantine now. Hey, mama, leave a heart, leave a heart. Whoa, got a ball full of Foogle bag a day. Mr. Welle, gonna stick around, going back now. Only race that ain't no shore. Lean the cars with the amazing bass. In the midnight with the original Maya app. Got that big gobs, gotta start out with the I video hot where all the pieces are. Mike W and I am light. Got a lot of tuna and I am a real robot. Gonna go back with the North Olympics. SD Parker and get up in it. Gotta love the PLH, gotta go deeper. I wanna see it now. What do you say in the way I have to go? Out with the chat lights, don't know you know. Mooah, mooah. I just wanna live life with that nice shape by my side. Gotta find me, cascade out, going right now. And what do I say to ya? Hey G.I. Joe, I'm in ZG. Wentworth, I'm in GJ, I'm in GJ. Don't know what to say. Yo, ding dong, him day. Montreal, Montreal, don't know how to say. John Nation, man, you know you be bringing a happy, the big feeling up for the man. Fitting on the 1093, gotta go now. Joe went, got a Pillsbury on the door, man. Hey, with the B on the oil, on the sunshine. Gotta bring the John of Martin in his head now. He's a no real J-Lo, no he's not. He's got the J-Lo with the Martinez at the end of the Gato-Tita. Gotta go. Go Team Arizona. Y'all got the Murphy's Law. Bring it right down. Gandalf White is raw. With the Mike W. Hey, on the one of you. I come down from under you. Now the official mix, man. Dedicated to my mods, man. Who are AOK and OKKO, if you know what I mean.
I'm feeling me, the dolphin in the sea, rolling in the waves, flirting with the breeze. Got my sunny shades on, play my favorite song. Thankful for the charm, life rocking in my phone. I am looking for attention, I don't need the extra tension, cause I'm in the fourth dimension. Trapeze high in suspension. Now don't bother with the haters, cause they all be imitators. Real life manipulators. Get it back up and see you later. I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. Don't need no apologies, just peace and serenity. No to the jealousy, Wonder Woman identity. I like me for me. I like me for me.
Down with the Tony Higginson. Thank you, the Crazy Mexican. Thank you, Pillsbury Doughboy, Bonnie Blake, and Tammy Farrell. I hope you love you for you because we love me for me.
I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. Don't need no apologies, just peace and serenity. No thought to the jealousy, Wonder Woman identity. I like me for me. I like me for me. Na 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 na. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else.
Welcome, Rocks and Plants Man. Thank you. I am a winner. Thank you for subscribing, man. And as always, if you subscribe, you get a shout out like amigo. I appreciate you.
I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. Don't need no apologies, just peace and serenity. No note to the jealousy, Wonder Woman identity. I like me for me. I like me for me. Gotta prove it to myself. I like nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself. I like nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself. I like nobody else. Gotta prove it to myself. I like me for me.
A boom boom, you know. It's time for the boom boom. If you're new here, then yeah, you better get on moving now. This is 104.5 and a Morph Radio. Mama Grizzly go boom boom. A Randy Newman go boom boom. West Virginia prepared mind go boom boom. Duke P goes a boom boom. Pigeon on the D, gotta give me a number. Body in the blink, you the hear something. Go out there here, gotta get no fight. Go to ring it back, then we go left side. Swabba the ninty, nitty, gotta bring it back with the Murphy's laughing tea. Oh yeah, with the beam up on done. Gotta eat it back like the Susie the Emperor. Gotta bring back with the John and Nelson. Gotta bring it back and be top forever. Boom, 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 boom. No we whisper, we bring it up. Moonlight Sonata, bring it right back. I've got a Sonata. It's a Hyundai, it's really crappy. But it's whatever I could afford. Bring it right back, now we know. He's got 100,000 miles. Yeah, you'll be using it. Like Marshall Hurst B. Hurst in it. Boom, boom. I hope y'all had a good night. I hope you had a good night. Thank you all for coming tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. I was getting funky bringing that Deborah Hibbert to a party. Biggest mistake I ever made. She is a bad influence on me. I double dipped in the chips and in the salsa. And now I have E. coli. I have E. coli. All right, you guys, have a great night. But seriously, though, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Chase Littlefield, for being the last one out. I can't say much more than that. Other than that, I love you. I wish I was ya. And I appreciate ya.
I don't know what am I gonna do. Been sleepwalking in the rain with the holes in my shoes. Maybe I should have stayed in bed. All these jeans got a thunder pounding in my head. All it took of you is just one look at you. It's all I need. Now I'm waking up. Now that you're coming around. It's like
John Nelson, to answer your question, is we don't know yet. Depends on how much news there is.
You ain't hanging with the goat yet. Reaching for the dapper, leave him hanging like a coat check. Whoa, I've been really moving, no rest. Wrist on both legs, big dog, go legs. Whoa, I ain't answering the calls, so you fed up. I'm too busy getting cheese, getting cheddar. Never fade, I'ma run this shit forever. This ship is sank if I don't keep this shit together. Bet my ex mad, cause a nigga get that. Try to shoot a shot and you gon' have to hit the step back. Off of Staten Island till I die, rep that. I'ma hit a place and tell him I went on a meth lab 3 like, whoa. Shorty used to dub me till she saw me hit the glow. If you ain't bringing nothing to the table, listen, no. Hating on another nigga, win and let it go. I just made it work for me, gotta make it work for me. This wicked, wicked. Look at how you living, this is different. Oh yeah. This wicked, wicked. I don't need no handouts, cause it really get it. Oh yeah. I just made it work for it. Make it work for it. Gotta make it work for it. Shorty, make it work for it. Shorty, make it work. Why you fiending for the paddock? I've been chilling on the patio. Poolside, Betty clothes, real fox, tally ho. See you always trying to stunt on niggas, that's hilarious. Cause the biggest flex is being able to relax. Now the bitches in my city wanna f me and I'm down for it. Always been a rapper and they said I was a clown for it. Glad to see me winning even though they ain't around for it. You a leaders, we the leaders, be the leaders. I'm a leader, I'ma pull up with like hella bands. Fly boy, Neverland, always been a killer. Beat the verses for the evidence, whoa. Want the smoke and get the second hand, whoa. And my bitch to let it bring without a wedding band, oh. Yeah, my really flossing. Since I was a youngin', I was running, didn't really cross. bossy. They said that I gotta move with caution. But my city with me, try to get me, I ain't worried about a motherfucking thing. Yeah, I go out, I'm going with a bang. Yeah, diamonds on my neck, I let them hang. Yeah, I don't give a when it's saying SITS, that's the motherfucking gang. This wicked, wicked. Look at how you living, this is different. Oh yeah, this wicked, wicked. I don't need no handouts, cause it really get it. Oh yeah, I just made it work for it. Gotta make it work for it.
You guys have no idea how many projects we have coming. Thank you, Tony Higginson. Much love, son. Have a great day. But for real, you have no idea. And you guys are going to be proud of me, proud of everyone in here, because we're going to do it without selling out. We might sell stuff, but we won't sell out. But what's coming next is going to be good for everybody. Stay tuned.
So put the hating to the side on my on the ride like whoa. This wicked, wicked. Look at how you living, this is different. Oh yeah. This wicked, wicked. I don't need no handouts, cause it really get it. Oh yeah. I just made it work for it. Make it work for it. Gotta make it work for it. Make it work for it. Shawty, make it work for it. Make it work for it. Shawty, make it work.
Thank you, Janet Scholes and Beth F., Starless Seattle, Connie Easley, Marietta Davis, and Chef Jay's Reef. Giggity. Be safe, be prepared, and you know the last part.
Check, whoa.